such a specific. That's such a specific point of measurement. Ah, yes, football player.
Oh, football, like football/soccer is so big over here. Like they love the UK, like football and stuff.
Do they? I mean, I guess I'm not surprised. It's worldwide. It's usually pretty big. So I'm like, whenever I find pockets of it being large, we are live. Sorry, me and Neri were talking about how their height. Their soccer players are used as a reference point for their height.
Yes.
Sarah, good to see you, glad to have you. Decoy, good to see you, glad to have you. Ray, good to see you, glad to have you. Infinite, good to see you, glad to have you. Power, good to see you, glad to have you. How have you been? You doing okay? I know you've been busy lately, but... V, good to see you, glad to have you. FF4 was my very first Final Fantasy, back when it was called FF2 in the US. I think FF4 was my first Final Fantasy. Neri, my friend, I think I've asked you before, but what was your first Final Fantasy?
Oh, it was 13, remember?
Oh, yeah, we just talked about... Oh, my God, I still find that wild.
It is crazy.
Yukio, good to see you. Yeah, Yukio, good to see, glad to have you. Danielle, good to see, glad to have you. Hello indeed. Lolly ho. It looks like Naniri's dressed up in his favorite Rydia outfit, which is an Astronomy Tome Sunset. Yes, they just recently added it, the Moonward set. Light, good to see, glad to have you. And Bramble, good to see, glad to have you. 4 has always remained my favorite through the years. Rachel, good to see, glad to have you. Infinite, good. Oh, wow, man. Yeah, just a perfect thing to listen to and watch instead of Gaia during Moogle so far. Finally, we've reached the Super Nintendo. Hunter, good to see, glad to have you. Yeah, so have you played FF4 before, Naniri?
Yeah, I played FF4 and
okay,
I watched the playthrough of after years.
Okay. So this is... Oh, we're gonna have to figure out by the end... Are we going through after years?
My gut said yes at the beginning. I'm not so sure now.
Yeah, I'm very torn now. But in the meantime, let us start the game.
Oh, I just realized my first Final Fantasy was actually Advent Children.
Does it count if it's a movie? That's
I don't know, yeah. I'm not sure.
I'm so flummoxed. As of yet, they have not added the, like, updated stuff from the console ports to the PC.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's unusual. Oh, yeah, because they didn't have the stuff in 2.
Right. Captain, we will arrive at Baron shortly. Very well. I feel like Cecil's outfit's looking a little dragoony. The captain seems kinda down. After what we did, who wouldn't be? Orders are orders, but killing innocent people to get the crystal isn't right. Open and strong with story. I mean, like, we always knew it was gonna be there, but it's...
Yeah, this is definitely where the story starts to expand. I mean, to be fair, we were quite impressed with 3.
Yeah. But I feel like this is when the story not only has a true beginning, middle, and end, but actually has, like, full character arcs. And,
yeah. I agree.
I guess what I might put as a traditionally told story in like, the actually meat and potatoes are all there.
Yeah, I think that they really start to define stuff, like with Cecil's arc, particularly Cecil. Whatever.
Technically, the 3D remake says Cecil. I go with Cecil because I think that sounds better, but the only like voiced version of it that I know of, and I think Dissidia goes with Cecil too.
Yeah, I would say Cecil. Cecil seems right to me.
Oh, interesting. I wonder if that's an American thing, just think Cecil. Any of you guys Americans, would you Cecil versus Cecil, you guys got opinions? The Red Wings are supposed to protect people, not harm them. That is enough. But Captain, surely you don't condone what we've done. All of you, listen well. The raid on Mysidia was imperative for Baron's prosperity. Oh, Mysidia. That's, they named the town from 2.
Yes.
That's why I remember the name Mysidia. Okay. The Mysidians know too much about the crystals. The very possession of one is a threat to Baron. It's interesting how much that, like, is not quite the same, but kind of the part of the same gist of the setup for 16. His Majesty ordered we obtain their crystal, and as soldiers of the Royal Air Force, we are sworn to obey. Captain.
It's also kind of like Type 0-y.
Captain, monster sighted to the head. Prepare for battle. German here. Danny, good to see you, glad to have you. Instinct tells me say it still.
Cecil?
Oh, right, we've got ATB. Yes.
Yeah, Elliot's gonna love that. Oh, Yukio, I like the new patch art. I'm very intrigued by that La Habrea mask.
Did you notice? So I just released recap to Abyssos yesterday. And one of the things that's interesting about that patch art, if you look about it, it's the other side of the thing that's missing. So if you know how there's how
it's
it was torn away with Hephaestus, but it's the mirrored side, which is very interesting for Anabasios.
It is interesting.
And also, it's a very pretty patch art. I love it. Like, just very elegant, and Golbez is looking good.
Yeah, he does look
Cecil,
great.
Rachel? Yeah. Doesn't matter, the character remains unchanged by their actions. Oh, here, let me. Which version are you playing? We're playing the Pixel Remaster. You didn't use the text mod, it's hard to read. We'll be reading them.
Yeah, we'll
usually
read
point
out
out the things that appeared in... Yeah, it appeared in 14, and here you don't even need to leave the main menu because of Kane on the logo. Yeah. 4 starts so strong. Yeah, don't you just hate when your subordinates question your leader actively in front of you, Commander? Cecil. Okay, interesting. A lot of the Americans are saying Cecil.
See, I'd never heard Cecil like as a UK. I think it's just very, very regional. Like in the UK, we just don't use Cecil.
Yeah, Ray, would you say Cecil? Yeah. Pixel Remaster isn't quite accurate to the original here. The original ATB meter was invisible.
Feels
well, then
like
it's just straight better.
Yeah.
That's just straight better. To me, that is, I don't think any good argument to not have it then. Are you alright? We've got more hostiles. Damnation.
A zoo.
Oh, it's a zoo. It's so strange to me because they're showing you the combat, but I don't even get to play this. Like, you don't even get to press the button.
Oh, really?
Is everyone okay? Yeah, it's basically just a cutscene where it's auto-playing.
Oh, I forgot that.
All accounted for, sir. We've been encountering more monsters than ever lately. There's no end to them. Could it be some kind of omen?
This narrative of increasing monster sort of presence is very early Final Fantasy.
Well, it's interesting, though, too, because it also pops up in 15, right?
That's true.
I'm trying to think. It's not 14. 12, not hyper-present. 11, I don't know. 10. Fiend activity is increasing, but that's more because of the cycle of sin. Yeah. 8, doesn't 8 kind of do stuff like that with the moon, you know? Because the red moon increasing in the monster rain and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Levi, good to see, glad to have you.
I don't really think it's there in 9. I mean, it is in as far as they're starting to journey out of the mist, but it's more like, you know, we know that they've always been there. I guess it just has different vibes for me.
Yeah, I guess the question is, like, not just the presence of them, but, like, the notable increase.
Yeah, the unexplained notable increase, which is very specific, I realize, but...
Ray totally agrees with you, by the way. It is, yeah, an Americanism.
Okay.
I'm usually expecting my mind to be blown, but now I'm like, what the fuck do they have in store for this Neck Raid series? Yeah, Anabasios is going to be fascinating. I don't want to kill a certain dragon. I'm going to get rid of that, because... please try to avoid current patch spoilers. That's actually an improvement over the original, honestly, especially since all subsequent FOs and Chrono Tickers showed the ATB bar. Yeah, I wonder if it was a technical limitation. If only we had weapons like cannons on our airship. Which airship? Like Sid's airship?
I think like the
FC same
one.
Oh yeah. The recent release of the console version of Pixel Remaster does have a pixel font if you fancy. It also features... Right, well that's... No, I am aware of that, Dunny. We were talking about that. It's weird that they haven't added that to the like, just ported... Like, just added that straight to the PC stuff.
Yeah, it's unusual that they haven't patched that in as well. I mean, I know that's not as easy as, like... That is a lot, like, a decent amount of work, but still.
Yeah. Very well. Prepare for landing. I feel like me and you go so long, we have to, like, make a habit of just finishing cutscenes before we start talking.
I wonder how that's going to clash against the more story-heavy games.
Yeah. Well, and it's just going to keep getting more and more, like, worse and worse. Well, worse and worse.
We'll find time. Inevitably.
Well done. So the crystal is now ours. The Mysidians put up no resistance. In fact, they were completely defenseless. Is this pity I perceive? Come, Captain. His Majesty awaits.
You penis-headed turtle.
What?
Have you ever seen the remix of the Four Fiends? The
Oh, okay, yep. Yeah, okay,
Hydaelyn
now
one.
penis headed. I love that what sounded at first like a complete offhanded comment actually has. I completely is referring to something very specific both for this character and this game.
I love Hydaelyn. His videos are great.
If you'll excuse me, Captain, I must speak to His Majesty in private. Please, wait here. I don't know. Do we know for certain? Should be 2 weeks before, so... And we're going to see May 23rd probably is going to be the release date for the patch, so I would say the first week of... Maybe second week of May. Your Majesty, I'm afraid Cecil can no longer be trusted. He clearly questions your authority. He does? Your counsel's well heeded, Baigan. But so long as I obtain the crystals, Cecil's transgressions matter little. Send him in. Yes, Your Majesty.
Yukio, Armored Core is what made FromSoft what it is. It's like what came before the Soul series. It's like a Gundam.
They're definitely the most popular property. I mean, like, Kingsfield never reached mainstream hype, but yeah. No, Armored Core 6 is going to be huge, and the gameplay trailer for it just came out today, and it looks phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it a lot.
Captain, His Majesty summons you.
You could also get the Moonlight
It's interesting.
Greatsword in it.
It's what's really interesting to me already about this is that while absolutely there's unquestionably what you could call cutscenes in the same vein in 2 and 3, there's already, like, I feel like a commitment to, like, and it's not even just quality, because visually it's not that different, but, like, they're front-loading with a major cutscene that's taking a while, you know? Which goes on to be the trend to, like, to not just front-load story, but just continue to prioritize it more and more.
Yeah, definitely. I think 4 is where that sort of turns from being a growing thing into being, like, a foremost thing.
Yeah. The Kingdom of Baron hails your return. May I have the crystal? Yes, Your Majesty. Hand it over, the water crystal. It looks genuine to me, sire. It is beautiful to behold. You're dismissed, Cecil.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't say it's very similar to Titanfall, Yukio. It's much more Gundam than it is like Western mech. I mean, I love Titanfall, but
it's like Gundam, Macross. It's I don't want to say grim dark Gundam, but kind of.
I'm struggling to describe its gameplay to someone that hasn't played Gundam games.
Hyper capitalistic dystopian Gundam.
Yeah, but I mean like the gameplay.
Oh, gameplay? I mean, you have to kind of explain mech games in general.
Yeah, it's very, very mech games. If you played any of the Mech Warrior games, they're quite similar.
Your Majesty. Yes? Captain, what is it? Your Majesty, forgive me, but what are your intentions regarding the crystals? My men are confused and displeased at their orders. And what of you? Do you question my command? No, I only ask... Silence! Do not think your treachery has slipped past me. I trusted you, Cecil, but you leave me no choice. I hereby relieve you of your command of the Red Wings. Your Majesty! Now I charge you with another duty. Slay the phantom beast that plagues Mist Valley and deliver this bomb ring to the village of Mists. You leave tomorrow at first light.
I forgot that the ring is called the bomb ring, and then Cecil's so surprised by it exploding.
Yeah, when its effects. Yeah.
Deliver the nuclear missile to this enemy village. Oh, okay. It'll probably be a nice courier mission.
Do you have any specific people you want to do, or do you want me to
No,
just
I'll do whatever, but you just dole them
Okay.
out to me whenever you feel like it.
Sounds good. Your Majesty, I beg you to reconsider. Cecil has done nothing wrong. Ah, Kane, if you are so concerned about your traitorous friend, you may accompany him. Your Majesty! Now take the ring and be gone. Your Majesty! So Gundam's in Warhammer? No. Also, Warhammer is not the only grimdark property. Oh, so Gundam's in Warhammer. If it was, instead of hyper-fascist, like, religious iconography fascistic...
Is that Corpo?
If it was Corpo, yeah.
It's got more in common, sort of thematically, with the cyberpunk genre in that way than it has with, like, the fantasy and, like, the grimdark.
Yeah.
That type thing.
Yeah. I guess it really is like more cyberpunk. It's just so dour that it makes me think grimdark.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting about Cecil's outfit is that the color scheme for it matches what Kane's armor's palette is, and when in like in Dissidia and stuff. Whenever you see his armor, it's like purple and like that gold highlight. It's not.
Yeah, even in the
blue and
artwork
red.
for this game, even like the Amano artwork.
Right. It's fascinating. Are you a bigger fan of the original FF4 logo with the cane, or do you like the like newer one they have with Golbez? I have to say I'm a particular fan of the Golbez one.
I like the Golbez one more. The cane one's fine, but it seems like an odd choice.
Yeah. It's a little boring too.
It's a little boring. Kane's a very important character, but he's not like the central part of the plot. And it's not as stylistic as that big sweeping Golbez is.
And my preferred trend line for all of the logos is always to have the logo in some way be related to the core conflict. So in 10, it's Yuna dancing, and if you look at her tidal wave, it almost looks like Sin. In 13, it's Cocoon, right? In 4 with the new one, it's Golbez. It's the Emperor in 2. I'm trying to think about other ones. 7-1, it's Meteor. It's not
Terra on the Metrotech armor.
Right. For me, it doesn't always have to be hyper literal. It can be very evocative, and it doesn't. And I'm not saying that like this is a thing that you can apply to everything in every case and it's always true. But a lot of times it is, and I feel like I'm a bigger fan for it. And even 16, it looked like Phoenix versus Ifrit. You know.
Yeah, in 5, it's a Wind Drake, which isn't like. That's another one that isn't super core to the plot. I mean, it's important to the plot, but like Kane is, but it's not like it doesn't really feel like the most central part of the plot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, water crystal. Yeah, it's interesting that the game both 3 and 4 start with the water crystal, but in very different ways.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a lot less like Gundam. So, yes, Levi, you are absolutely correct that would be a more accurate. But we're trying to communicate to someone who does not have any like inclination towards the mecha genre. So you have to communicate in broad generalities. You know, it's specifically called a bomb ring. What does he think it'll do?
Bomb dick.
Stop. We're not even an hour in, Naniri. In the original ROM version, you just get a plain box. Interesting. So it's not obvious in the beginning. That would explain why I didn't. Yeah. It's interesting also because I remember being caught off guard too. Although I guess like having that is a better like explicit setup, but also the box. I'm torn on which is better, but
yeah.
I'm sorry, Kane. Once we've completed the mission, the king is bound to forgive us both. You'll command the Red Wings again in no time. Get some rest. Leave tomorrow's preparations to me. You do Rosa when we get there.
Oh yeah, I'll do Rosa.
Oh, look at that art. That's
pretty good. Oh,
it's a really very different look, though.
I really like the Amano logo for 10-2. I like the 3 girls.
The YRP.
Yeah,
the like.
It's Pain, Riku, and Yuna, isn't it? All sort of posing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks. I like that.
Yeah. At the beginning of the game, they call themselves YRP. So.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. It's been so long since I've done X2, 10-2. Why don't you calling it X2?
Dude, okay, I was about to say like I hope there are shortcuts again, but like so you can see a little thing out of place.
Oh yeah, that's
in
nice.
A door that. I like. Tense. Yes.
Oh yeah, Lightning Returns doesn't have an Amano logo. That's another mark against it.
I mean, like, how much more do you want? Like, look, you can't necessarily pick and choose your canon, but boy, does that game work hard to make itself not actually like doesn't call itself 13.3, doesn't have an Amano logo, doesn't like
isn't good.
It isn't good. It is really impressive, and to me, in a sense, how it's basically someone just took. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Apparently,
okay, where do we need to go?
I'm reading some trivia about the logos. Namano's reaction to seeing the finished 15 logo was, "Oh, they're finally making that game."
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, all you. Lady, good to God have ya. Raven, good to God have ya.
Cecil. She's sort of princessy. I'll go a little bit more high class. Thank goodness you were right. I was so worried. You left on such short notice.
I feel like, am I crazy? I feel like in future stuff she's depicted as a brunette, not a blonde.
No, she's always blonde. Isn't she?
Give me a second, I'm pulling up Rose FF for 3D. Nope, she's definitely blonde. I'm trying to figure out what I was, and long-haired. Who am I even picturing in my head?
Sid. She's Sid's daughter.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, it's you.
We're fine. I wish I could say the same for the Mysidians we slaughtered.
Cecil. I'll come see you later, okay?
Very well.
That was a nice little affectation.
Yeah, I literally don't know why. Okay, I could not tell you why, because there's not really anything specifically that's different between that and 3, but somehow that felt a little bit more like a normal human conversation in a way that 3 rarely did.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I'm just full of shit, but there's something about it that just felt a little bit more naturalistic.
No, I think you're right. I think it's the writing as well, isn't it?
We've locked up the Mysidian mages who oppose us, sir. You can talk them through the bars. You won't get away with this! You hear me? I do not expect you to spare us, but please return the crystal to Mysidia.
This is a nice
Interesting
world building.
flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, power case has crashed. Did the stream crash?
It says mine's back. It says mine's up. Give me a second. I'm gonna go check something real quick.
Okay.
Be right back.
FF3 fanfiction. I guess I kind of see that, Danny. I mean, it feels a little reductive, but I guess I kind of see that. Oh, hi, lady.
Okie doke. I'm back. Everything's checked up. What did someone said something reductive?
No. Nothing like quite that harsh, but like Danny said that 4 reads as can feel like fan fiction of FF3, which he said, yeah, I guess I can see that. But
I don't off the bat, so I'm actually curious. I would love to like hear Danny's thoughts on that, what their argument is.
I'd like to see some of that as well.
Well, look who's back. Rosa was worried sick about you. Don't you ever do that to her again, you hear? So, how are me airships? I'll bet you and your goons racked them up something awful. What's the matter with you, kiddo? Well, what? The king demoted ye? What about the Red Wings? They'll be a mess without ye. Come to think of it, the king's been acting peculiar for some time. His Majesty's ordered me to build an airship for killing people. Everyone's worried about him. Anywho, be careful out there. Make short work of that mission and get back safe.
Sid,
I have to start
Sid, your
What?
existing airships are covered in cannons. Like, what?
Whoa, I have to start heading home. My daughter will kill me if I'm not back soon. I know that's partly because this is one of my first Final Fantasies, but this Sid is one of the Sids that... Like, Sid in 3 has a personality.
Yeah.
But maybe it's just because we get more of this Sid, comparably.
I was going to say that Sid in 3 is so cartoonish, but then again, so is this Sid. But,
Yeah.
like...
I mean, even in design, especially.
Yeah, but Sid in 3 really feels... Like, he's just like a little dwarf dude. Like, with like a big wizard hood and a huge nose. It's crazy.
All you.
I've changed your seat. I've changed your sheet, sir. I hear you depart early tomorrow morning. Good night.
Because, like, here's why, it's hard for me to see this as fan fiction of 3. It's like, narrative elements aren't really paralleled very strongly, and other than, like, Mysidia and name, the characters are very different. I mean, like, so it's like, I'd be curious to see what in specific the argument is for it being, like, fan fiction. Fun fact, Final Fantasy IV was Takeshi Tokita's first game as a full-time employee at Squaresoft. Cool. 6 is Golbez 1 reminds me of the 12th Judge one. I mean, it makes sense because, there's a lot of, I totally see why there's similarity. And also the redesign would have been in the same era. Square Enix grappling glowy weapons like they follow. No, there's not an order, Yukio. If you actually, you can look at when the patch content comes out, it's all over the place. When did crystals change from 4 to 6? Is it because they changed 4 elements to 6 elements? That's a great question. When did they start going from 4 to 6?
Well, that's a very modern thing, because there aren't really, well, there is a crystal in 9, but it's not the elemental crystal. But there are 4, like the elements were 4 at least around that point.
It's interesting because in terms of like magic spells, right? Water and wind spells are all over the place and getting used in the game, which is like a slightly different thing, but just like you like lightning, fire, blizzard, and even earth spells are kind of all over the place in terms of getting used. It's like earth, water, and air kind of got sometimes used, sometimes don't. Depends on the Final Fantasy game. Yeah,
the lack of water spells is a sort of a begrudging thing of mine in 14.
I'm gonna we've talked about it on Lord Talkers multiple times. I'm gonna get through this so that way we can at least talk while farming or like doing something like that.
Yeah, okay. Because I got some questions I want to answer for Soria and AC.
Yeah. What's happened to the king? He covets the crystal as though he's possessed, and it seems he'll resort to any means to get them. Nevertheless, I can't defy him. How could I cross the man who's raised Cain and me like his very own, the chivalrous knight whom I have adored and admired since childhood? I will not betray him. I can't.
Cecil! What's going on? You just returned from Mysidia, and now you must journey afar to battle some phantom beast? It's all too sudden.
Everything's fine.
God, Mom. Cecil, look at me.
Oh, the music. In Mysidia, we killed innocent people to steal their crystal. It was horrible. But I suppose this is my fate as a Dark Knight. Soon I won't even feel remorse for my actions.
You and I both know that will never happen.
Still, I can't defy the king. I'm a hopeless coward.
The Cecil I know would never whimper like this. The Cecil I love. You leave for Mist early tomorrow, right?
Yes, but don't worry. Kane's coming too. I'll be fine. Trust me.
Please, come back to me in one piece.
Thank you, Rosa. Though as a Dark Knight, you know we can never truly be together.
That Dark Knight's too powerful.
Look, I'm not... Look, I'm not saying that it's not to an extent melodrama or like, obviously like almost theatrical, but that just feels like an actual human it actually feels like an actual human interaction.
Yeah, it was nicely written.
Like it just feels like if someone put that on stage, I'd be like, yeah, that's a scene that is a scene that makes sense and doesn't feel kind of like a 6-year-old taking action figures and play acting. So are you ready for some real combat? Always lead the way. Hey, main theme.
Hell yeah.
It's interesting, in his pixel design, he does have like the side panels thing, the things that you have on the FF like 6 or FF or the Heavensward stuff.
Yeah.
And so the Dark Knight. And so the Dark Knight Cecil was stripped of his command as the captain of the Red Wings. He and the Master Dragoon Cain Highwind head for the Foggy Valley and the village of Mist. It's interesting that these opening crawls didn't last for forever.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Are they in 5? I remember so little of 5. Except for there's a lot of Chocobo stuff.
The advent of the airship marked the realization of Baron's dreams, but also the birth of its militarism. With its Royal Air Force, the Red Wings, Baron Baron soon reigns supreme. You know what I know, like, iconography-wise, I'm not surprised that there's a lot of 4 and 14. Like, I always knew that. But, like, the rise of airships rising their militarism is the same thing that happened with Garlemald. Now, as monsters multiply and stir unrest, Baron only exploits its power to collect the world's crystal. Why? Right, 6 does have that opening crawl, but it's just, yeah.
That's true, actually, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it's
crystals,
it's like a proper cutscene, 6 is.
The crystals merely shed their light in silence. But there isn't a job system, Danny.
There are jobs, but there's not like a... You can't...
There's no job system in 4.
Like, Rose is a white mage,
like,
but yeah, you can't change...
Yeah, to me, the job system is not that jobs exist in terms of, like, someone has a dedicated role. It's that there is, like, you can switch it around, you know?
Yeah. So, Lady wants to know...
Dude! Sorry, go ahead.
Lady wants to know what got us into 14.
Oh, good question. But real quick, before I do that, I just want to point out, I did not realize I was going to have nostalgia for the overworld theme. Because I didn't realize I had a strong affiliation for it so much, but boy, did that come up and...
That's nice, though.
Have they ever used the overworld theme for 4 in terms of anything in
I don't think so.
13?
4's not been hugely pulled. Well, I guess 14's, but...
I feel like 4's being hugely pulled on with Endwalker for obvious reasons, but also I feel like there's actually little bits of 4 that are, but yeah. Issa, good to see, glad to have you. But let's answer the lady's question. You want to start?
Yeah. So this is an embarrassing story, but I was in a roleplay group on Skype. That's how long ago it was. For Haikyuu, the volleyball anime. And one of the guys from that he played 14, and I started to play it with him. And he got me into it, and then we played a bit of ARR together, and then I sort of fell out of it. And then when Heavensward came out, we played a hell of a lot of it. We leveled up the new classes, actually. There were 3 of us, and we leveled up from base up to level on early access. We like spammed Khan for like 80 times. So yeah, that's what got me into it.
Good shit. For me, I had been playing MMOs my whole life, just playing different ones at different times. I remember when 1.0 happened and closed, and someone told me about 14, and they told me basically they didn't know what they were talking about, so they told me wrong, but it was also so fascinating to me. They were basically like, oh, the bad guys won, and then they destroyed the world and got to remake it in their own image, or basically something kind of like a Kefka, which isn't right at all, because that's not what happened with Bahamut and Cardinal.
No.
But it was so evocative to me that, like, it just always stuck in my mind. Okay. But I just never got around to trying 14 because I didn't have money for anything that was, required a subscription, and I was, I didn't have anyone to play it with, and just never got around to it. I had always been a big Final Fantasy fan, but I just always thought I'll do that one day. Then one day, my, best friend was him and his wife, I think girlfriend at the time, hey, we're gonna go get into this. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, I'm gonna try it, I'm gonna get into it. And so I started playing ARR, and that was around patch 4.3, 4.4. And I started playing it, and because I was struggling with all sorts of, like, depression and anxiety at the time, I really fucking struggled with it because it was just... It was slow, right? Like, ARR wants you to play it at its pace, right? And this was also before a lot of quality of life was added. This was before ARR was truncated, before any of the reworks, before there was flight in ARR maps.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, y'all don't even know if you weren't there for that. It used to be that you could not fly around in ARR. And... honestly, I in some ways bounced off of it at first, and like was really struggling to, and then like I gave it a like a week or two, a couple weeks, and then I went back in, I got into Heavensward, and then I just kept going, and I just fell in love more and more and more.
Do you know what the most popular way of getting from like 57 or 58 to 60 was back in ARR? Oh no, wait. So yeah, that's right. back in like actual proper ARR days, it was going to what's the
I'm
part
assuming not 60.
No, it would be
in
48
ARR?
to 50 then, I guess, or 47.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is the Thanlin area with the all of the ceruleum. It's northern.
Northern Thanlin.
Yeah, so Northern Thanlin fates. There would be like hundreds of people in Northern Thanlin, or like all the time, constantly, doing fate grinds to get those last few levels.
Fascinating.
And that's how you used to do that.
Back when fates were good XP.
Yeah,
I mean, look, I say that, but I say that, but I leveled my Sage from 70 to 90 just by doing fates.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, because what I just did is I got on Sage, I joined groups on Endwalker's launch, and then I would just, even as a level 70, be doing 90 fates. I must have been getting XP or something. I must have still been getting XP or something, because I know I, for the most part, did, at the very least, the 80 to 90 through Endwalker fates.
Okay, interesting.
But I'm pretty sure I did 70 to 90. But the... I will say I also recommend, because of the bicolor gemstone system, I cannot recommend enough that when you... Oh, it's the town theme again. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised it's the town theme, but it's cool to hear a new version. I cannot recommend enough that you do the bicolor gemstone stuff, like, in the first couple of weeks after expansion comes out.
Yeah.
Let's get some Geisel.
Yeah, you see, I think Cecil, whatever, was somewhat implied to be of a noble rank. You know, he's like he's a knight, so that sort of implies a certain birthright. But we never get much about his family history, so I think it's maybe
at least not
very lightly implied.
Yeah, I'm gonna catch up on chat real quick while I do a little bit of farming, just because I know I want to get us ahead a bit.
Mm-hmm. Sword rat.
That's all right. Now it's ATB. I can't just sit and talk to you, Neri. I have to pay attention.
Okay, I'll go through chat and read some stuff out.
Yeah.
Yuki says I would be so sad if the glow weapons this patch will be the whirlet weapons. The diamond and emerald ones look so unnerving.
I wouldn't assume that's good. That I would just don't make any assumption about that. But do you want to do me a favor? Can you like read out the things and just go through the chat?
Levi says, I don't think there's ever 6 crystals unless you count 14. Power of K says, this is so cool though, whenever you visit Baron Castle you get a free bed. Yeah, I like the I like that. Cecil, you edgy,
well, it makes sense.
But can you please remove your armor before going to bed? Nope. We don't have the technology.
Nope. Sleeping in that armor.
The fact that he removes his armor
to his carapace
at one point in the story is like huge for this.
This is definitely like the first time he doesn't even remove it for sex, does he?
No, definitely not. He's got like a little hatch.
FF10 Aeons. What I'm curious is like non-additional Aeons. Are there 6?
Non-additional ones.
Valfor, Ifrit, Ixion, Shiva, Bahamut. So 5. No.
Yeah, and Bahamut's not particularly elemental. Well, I guess he is in those games. I always associate him with a non-elemental calamity because I thought he.
But it was astral, Neneri.
Daniel got into 14 because over quarantine he needed something for his Final Fantasy fix and knew that 14 had a great story, so he finally tried it. It does have a good story.
Here, I got a second. Y'all make me feel lame. I just joined because Mabinogi got boring. Dude, I haven't thought about Mabinogi in years. Did you ever play Mabinogi in Neniri? I feel like that's a very Neniri MMO.
How is it? I don't think so.
Okay.
Mabinogi. Is that like an anime one?
Yeah. Well, not kinda. You should look it up. AR dragged so bad early, and my friend got bored in MMO, and MMO hoped I wouldn't hop, and I wouldn't come back until Shadowbringers was about to drop. Interesting. Water effects got an update. Nice. Yes, the water effects are very lovely. Kind of said how fates are kind of useless now. I never see anyone doing them when they pop up in the open zones. But the thing is, like, that's inexorably going to happen unless... I mean, the thing is, they've done a lot to try to revitalize them by tying them to relics, but even when the, people are not doing that content, even if they do things to revitalize, they do the bicolor gemstones, they do... Even if they, for instance, went back and did the bicolor gemstones in all old maps, eventually it's still going to slow down. So, I think the number one thing they could that would help revitalize them is that... But the thing is if you have everyone doing fates instead of dungeon farming, for instance, you're going to make queue times longer. So it's like, at some point, things slow down inexorably, right? Isn't there an auto battle? Yes, there is, and I've been pressing it every so often.
Oh, it's a Nexon MMO. Okay. Korean
Yes.
MMOs are like a whole world unto their own.
They truly are. Assumed he was Token Night Lord because he adopted Son of the King.
Is he?
They say that they were raised like his sons, but I don't know that he was literally adopted. Officially, I don't think he'd be an heir apparent.
Yeah, I guess sort of adoptive in a soft sense.
Neither is Valfor. See, but Valfor to me, I mean, yes, you could argue that he's not specifically associated with wind, but I mean, with his attacks and stuff, other than his ultimate, I feel like he's the wind Aeon.
I've always assumed Bellafor's wind. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go heal quick. Oh, actually, I'm just gonna use this tent. Let's go camping.
Oh, you can make chubby characters in Mabinogi. That's nice, Levi.
Yeah. It seems they may have made him fully light aligned in 16, and by him I mean Bahamut in case I fall behind stream. No, you're good, Infinite. Yeah, it's hard to because this isn't in a type, but it's like the energy that he has is a little ambiguous, but also I guess the guy who's his dominance kind of that does make sense. I hadn't thought about it that way, but you might be right. See, Soul's about using protection in relationships. That's why he goes to bed in his armor.
Isn't he kind of lighty
10, Raven.
in this game as well? Because he's married to a Sora, who's all sort of lighty as well.
I literally have no recollection of him in this game, so we'll have to see.
Okay.
Raven, between 4 and 10. Oh, for a car trip. Actually, you know what? I take that back. 10. If you're willing to give, if you have a bunch of time, 10. 10's amazing. 10's phenomenal. I would adore 10. However, 4 you're going to be able to finish quicker and might be more interesting for 14 right now.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's an interesting point.
Was Mabinogi one of the side-scrolling MMOs? No, it was 3D.
No, but it was made by the same people who made MapleStory.
Yes. Cecil took over as ruler, though. Yeah, but doesn't the king die, and it seems like there's not anyone else here? Also, that's after years, so... But... Oh, wait, this dungeon music, I swear, doesn't this come up somewhere else? FF4... Miss...
I do think I've heard it. Oh, wait, isn't it... Okay. Does it play around the Mist Dragon? I mean, it doesn't play in the fight, but does it play...
Musical themes. The background music that plays in this cave is Final Fantasy... Oh, it's just the Final Fantasy IV dungeon theme.
Oh, well, probably yes, then. We probably have heard it somewhere.
I bet it's come back up.
It might... Is it the background music for that dungeon, whose name I forget?
No, it's not the same as... It's not, because that's the Praetorium theme. It's a version of the Praetorium theme. So I don't know if you knew this, but we've been doing musical streams every Friday where we go through all the music in the game and point out the themes.
Yeah, I can see it.
It's played at the Mist Cave Underground. It is reused in the after years. It doesn't say anything about it being used in. 14.
I wonder if it just has similarities to other dungeon themes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
thank you. Yeah, no worries, Raven.
I'm sad, Yuka, as well, that Henry Cavill's not going to be on The Witcher season anymore. But it seems like it's the best for him.
Yeah, it seems like him getting that Warhammer project's great. He's very passionate about him. It's probably frankly enough to make me kind of bail on the show. Like that level of your main actor switching like that is. It doesn't really matter how good the replacement is most of the time. It's just such a jarring thing for me personally. I
did like The Witcher show, but I did also think it was a little bit overrated.
That's interesting. Most people I know dislike it. So to me, really? I liked season 1 and 2. Oh yeah, especially any Witcher fans I knew.
Oh, everyone I know who's into Witcher loves it.
Hated it.
That's so interesting.
The book people or the game people?
Game people.
See, game people, it was half and half in my experience, but book people, they were mad.
Oh.
Yeah. Mist Effect is nice, but not pixels. It's very flashy though. Although I remember a Mist Effect in the original, but probably not to this degree.
Yeah, because it would have been quite disruptive, wouldn't it, in the original art style?
Yeah. Well, it's also just funny to me because it's like people complain about the remake style that they did, both the the 3D remake, but also the other. They're not really pixel remasters, but the pixel remasters are still a change in aesthetic. I don't know. I will say I like the pixel remaster in contrast to the original.
I like the pixel. I hate the iOS art.
Yeah.
I just don't like that one.
I perversely like it. I know. I understand why people don't. I understand why people don't. I kind of like it.
Oh my
Demands! Good to see you. Glad to have ya. How you doing, man? Turn back. Wait, what? Who's there?
Cute.
Insectus. Wait, don't those kind of remind me of the moths that show up in Amdapor?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. There's so little lore on those batteries. I spent ages looking for lore because there's not a great deal on them. A lot of
there's a lot of.
There's a mob in there, and all of its lore is like people in Gridania hate this, and I'm like, okay, fair enough.
I mean, I'm so torn because on the one hand, I understand why there aren't reams and reams of information on like random mobs, but at the same time, I'm like, tell me shit.
Yeah,
tell
exactly.
Me things.
Yeah,
yeah.
The interesting thing is where there's spaces where you can fill in the details. Like there's those the Harpeia live around Zalfatol, and they kind of look like very devolved Ixalion, and they're very intelligent but animals. And I sort of get the impression that they're another branch of the Ixalion line.
Which would make sense.
Yeah, it would make sense, right?
Still being raised by the king kind of implies he'll be at least a lord.
It does imply a certain ennoblement, like probably knightly, going on like European history. Maybe
right.
if he was particularly successful, maybe like Baron Duke. But yeah, it could be.
I guess like it's just like there's no implication that their lands expand beyond their borders, and he's not referred to as Sir. He's stripped of his captain title and therefore basically just treated as a foot soldier at that point. And so it's like. You're probably right, but I guess like I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where where there's a gap in the provided lore. But I would imply I would suggest that there's some level of like feudal prestige assigned to him.
Definitely some level, no question. Yeah, don't overthink the nobility in old FF games. Yeah, that's probably the best. There lies madness. Do a super chat. Like, oh, so rude shit in the silly voice because it makes Temporal happy. Woo! I'm starting Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild in the open world. Do you have any tips on not getting overwhelmed? Let yourself explore. Don't treat it as a checklist. Zelda Breath of the Wild is not a checklist. Just if there's something interesting, go do it. If it's something that's like, oh, that seems interesting on the horizon, just go towards it. That is how you don't overwhelm yourself in Breath of the Wild.
I would also say the boss battles, if you can call them that, in except for some of the ones out in the world, are like one of the more disappointing aspects of Breath of the Wild to me. So I wouldn't don't prioritize those too much. Just have fun in the world.
Leave at once. I guess the other thing I would say is just if you really need something to checklist, follow what the main quest offers you, and just go do the four fundamental the beasts.
I don't like the beasts at all. I really thought they were lame.
I love them. I'm the only person in the goddamn world that loves them. I really am. Could that be the Phantom Beast of Mist Valley? Knights of Baron.
I'll say Knights, okay.
Who are you? Yeah, so they're definitely, leave now or suffer the consequences. I wonder what it says in Japanese, though, because Paladin is knight, so I wonder if there's a term that delineates the difference between knight, because I wonder if there's like a Japanese term that means would be something that's knight that's like Japanese specific, like I don't know, like something like I'm just gonna make it random, like samurai. Like samurai doesn't mean knight, but like a specific word that's endemic to Japanese, versus paladin in Japanese is naito. So
the only thing I could think is like one of the court ranks, as opposed to the samurai ranks, because I don't know. Bushin.
Show yourself. You choose to ignore my warning. Yes. We have to get to Mist Valley. We're not turning back. So be it. The mist. It's gathering. Kishin is night. Metal Lord. Is that literally? Kishin, is that literally the word? That's funny. Also, but like, what's the connotation for that? Because the thing is, like in Japanese, a lot of times you'll like look in a G show and it'll be like, oh, this is the word for that, and then you say it to Nihonjin and they're like, that's not how you use that.
Yeah, you can never trust metal. You can never trust a machine translation.
It's not even just machine. Like you could literally open up a Japanese dictionary. What's a good version in English?
I like them changing Link's tunic to the blue because it serves in the sort of the theorized like triad of courage, wisdom, power. That the game's doing.
How do I put this? Okay. I don't like that it's a change in what is iconic. I think it's perfect that it's a change in what is iconic. And that I don't like it. It is supposed to feel like Link is kind of broken, starting from zero, and the world, like, it's the right feeling for the game. You know?
Yeah, it is. It's such a departure that I think it works.
Right, and so it's the best way I can think to put it is that I don't like it, but I love that I don't like it because I shouldn't. I don't like it for the reasons that I should feel weird about it.
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense, though. I think that makes sense to recognize that it's a good change, but also to have sort of a slight unease to it.
Right. I really like his new look, too. And I think part of the reason that I cannot like his new look is because of, you know... But what you're saying is a great point, too, right? If you think about the way in Breath of the Wild represents wisdom and the story of wisdom and how we're kind of being a continuation of the Sheikah, us wearing blue makes a lot of sense, whereas now being part of, you know... an extension of the Zonai and courage and green.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So the Zonai stuff's going to be really interesting. I like the... Obviously, it would have been very, very odd to have Link have like a red tunic in Sakai with Sword, so I'm glad they didn't do that. But I feel like blue's a close enough color to green. Especially because it's like, it's not turquoise, but it's like not enormously far removed from it.
It's fascinating. Yeah, I've heard people call the Sheikah blue like a green blue, which is crazy to me because it is blue, but it being lighter instead of a darker blue, it definitely puts it into like, it's not like sapphire. It's, you know, it's...
Yes, that's Naniri, Trevor. I'm here every Thursday. And, well, I'm also on Sunday, but not on stream.
Yeah. Trevor, good to see you. Glad to have you.
Oh, Kishi. Kishi is mounted soldier. So that is night. Okay. Which isn't actually a very good translation, but I guess that's what it would have seemed like to the Japanese at the time.
Dad's good to see you. Glad to have you.
Yeah, they were generally mounted, but that wasn't like the... I guess in pop culture, you know, they're sort of associated with war, which obviously they were a martial class. But, you know, a lot of their job was just governing small holdings.
Yeah, hey Trevor. Kishi, okay. Kishi does mean Metal Lord is used for nights in some contexts, but does not mean midnight. Interesting. One thing I love about Breath of the Wild designs have at least had chainmail under the blue tunic or a pauldron. Yeah, I feel like that would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, King Wind Waker did have a blue tunic, but the 3DS games are sort of a beast unto themselves. I mean, I love them very much, but
sorry, what you referring to?
You know, in Wind Waker, he has this little blue tunic, but he does get the hero's garb, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, you get the blue. He has his pajamas, but you get the whole like tutorial quest is getting his tunic. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, like even in you have to get the tunic in Twilight Princess 2 and stuff. Real quick though, I suggested the exact opposites. Link would have gotten hitched with Calamity. Exclamation marks on the chest seem kind of redundant. Yeah, fair enough. Oh.
Hi, Tail. I did not recognize the name. Nice to meet you. Trevor.
See, it's hard. Guys, It's hard when you've got a lot of people with a lot of different names and they have multiple names in multiple places. It's hard to keep track. Forgive me if I ever forget who's who, but it's an understandable struggle. The ring is glowing.
Oh yeah, here comes the most oblique moment for these guys. The bomb ring.
I do love that it. Yeah, I do love that it doesn't just explode. That it is a ring full of bombs.
Yeah.
Like.
This feels like something the kobolds would make.
Oh my god! How has that not been something we've seen? What the? This is why he sent us here? We've destroyed the entire village. Why would he make us do this? No. Oh, well, I'll let you get that.
Okay, I'm doing Rydia. How do I?
Yeah.
What sort of vibe do we think for Rydia? Like airy?
I mean, little girl right now. So
Okay.
yeah. Well, I know.
Yeah, we can do little girl for now, and then we'll do big Rydia later. Okay. No, mummy. Ugh, gross.
Huh?
My mum's dragon died, and because of that, my mum died too, and also bombs.
Not Yukio. What? I've heard of people with the power to call forth monsters. Summoners, they're called. Then we're responsible for killing your mother by killing the dragon?
Killed my mum's dragon?
We didn't know that would happen. So that was the king's plan, to annihilate every summoner in this village. That can't be. I'm afraid it's true. I'm also afraid we're going to have to get rid of the girl. What? That's what the king would expect. It's her or us. But she's just a child. You intend to defy the king? I refuse to carry out any more slaughter in the king's name. I knew you'd say that. Don't worry, I'm on your side. You are? I owe the king so much, but I cannot disgrace the dragoons. So you'll join me? Yes, but we need to support the other nations if we're to oppose the mightiest kingdom in the land. And we have to get Rosa out of Baron. Thank you, king. Save it. This isn't for your sake.
It's interesting how in 2 and in 4 the dragoon is sort of the morally dubious character.
Uh-huh. This place is dangerous. We better get going. What about the girl? We can't leave her here. We'll have to take her with us. It's all right. We won't hurt you, but you're going to have to come with us, okay?
No.
Come on. We have to go now.
No, go.
Wait!
I hate you. You killed my mom. Go.
This is the first time we get the term summoner, right? Wait, are we literally...
Oh,
I mean, I know she summoned... I thought she just immediately summoned Titan.
Go away. Yes. Oh, yeah, there she is. Yes, it is the first time we get summoner because they were called like evoker and stuff. In actually, was the advanced class called summoner?
Oh, it was, wasn't it?
And then in the it's not chronologically first, but in the added material for 2, there's a summoner, an NPC.
Interesting. She's safe, thank goodness. Kane? Kane! I have to get out of here. Kane, I pray that you're alive.
Questions of those AC that arise from the story in 14 in a flawed way.
I do have to bring up some flawed questions that arise from the story. I feel like that's true of pretty much almost any of the
Any media.
early ones. Hey, Innocent! Oh, okay. Yeah. And Komu. Yep, thank you, Daniel. I appreciate you reminding me, but the problem is it's hard to keep still all that data in mind. They also changed the royal family color to blue. Zelda used light blue or pink, but she's now royal blue.
It makes sense though for like wisdom and stuff.
I mean, I feel like I always kind of associated that kind of coloring still. Like, even though you had the King of Red Lions and reds and pinks, like blue being associated with the royal color is not a crazy departure in any kind of way.
Under the weight. Okay, I see.
Yeah, Daniel, the fact that it's like they put value to killing things and make you thinking about questioning it that early on. The amount to which they're thinking about morality and being thoughtful about what you're doing is really interesting. And in terms of like, look, 4 is not doing anything that's amazing, but it is a really big step forward.
It is, yeah, definitely. I mean, it does so much more work with the characters. Like 3 did actually more work than either of us expected with the story, but obviously the characters were not a massive element. And the moments that they did have for the side characters, because the main party obviously had none really, was like subverted by the fact that they had like them come back to life and stuff like that. With what's his name? Dash.
Grahatia's forebearer.
Yes.
That's
That's right.
Do you think Cecil feel crushed? Do you think Cecil feel crushed under the weight of killing Rydia's mother? Oh, because of Titan. Ha ha ha. Well played. Anyways, I'm sorry. What were you saying, Neri?
Do you think Dash jumped into a furnace in 14, then emerged a few weeks later, still just like completely fine?
I need to find an inn for the girl. Well, he had to escape over to the... I swear to God, if we find out he like jumped into some sort of like Allegan contraption in the in Corvos after getting there, after bringing the G tribe there. Welcome. Oh, she looks very pale. Is she all right? Get her to bed quickly. She can rest here free of charge. Thank you. I will say, one thing I do not like. Well, here, I'll wait till I can show it. Hey, are you all right? My name is Cecil. What's yours? I'm so sorry about your mother. I understand if you can't forgive me. Will you at least let me protect you?
I'm just making random noises.
That was really perfect.
Seikishi's Holy Night. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, Christ.
Cecil, I finally found you. Huh? Wait. I am here on the King's orders. All summoners from Mist must be annihilated. Hand over the girl now. Not a chance. Then you shall die. We'll see about that.
Baron soldier.
Attack!
Oh, so they have like katanas. So they're like European-y, but that's. Oh, I guess it's.
I think those are sabers.
It could be a cavalry saber. Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a saber.
The hill looks like a bit like a super.
Fuel me. No, because that's like if you ever had like a basket, like or like I have a saber that looks like that somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Very very much has that like top grip thing. It comes over a little bit. Here, like let me find.
Elio's getting his sword out.
Here, I think the one I have I actually gave away to a friend who's really into like Civil War reenactment. So I am gonna instead pop this up. Yeah. So like, see, like it very much looks like this. You probably can't see unless you look on stream, but
like a small basket, like just or like I think I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I would posit that that's definitely what's going on, because also like holding that one hand like that would be weird for like a true katana too.
I guess that's true. Are you okay?
Yes, don't worry about me. I won't let anyone hurt you.
Promise?
I promise.
I'm Rydia.
Rydia. Summoner Rydia has joined the party.
Rydia's design is like all time. It's really good. I say that as a green
I'm
lover,
torn.
Though, so.
Yeah, so like what I was gonna say is like I'm torn because on the one hand I think Rydia's is a really good classic design. It is a fuck ton of green, and I don't love it. But there's a big difference between me thinking it's very good and not loving it. It's like very much the opposite of the look I like.
Right.
But I'm also one of those stupid people who likes the horn hat from on Summoners. So
Okay.
Don't trust my
taste.
I
completely agree. I like the horn hat. I think the horn hat's cool.
God damn it, Issa.
Do you,
All set. They're
you
fighting in
think
close quarters
14
in the inn room. Sorry,
Levi says, do you think 14 kind of blew their load with having too many different kinds of swords for paladins, thus kind of blocking off different sword types for the jobs? No, not really, because like we can still have a hammer job, and Marauder can have a hammer, and you know, like we had a Dark Knight katana. I know it was 200. It was like a dachi, I guess, but before we had.
But I feel
samurai.
like, but the thing, I mean, on top of that, if they had a really, really good idea that involved like dual swords, they would find a way to make it work. I mean, the thing is, the red mages have a whole bunch of different types of swords. The dark knights have a whole different types of swords. I don't think paladins are. I don't think so. I also think that the important thing to them is having the job have a very distinct character identity. I don't think the slight differentiation in types of swords would have been enough to have a different form of identity. So not only do you have daggers with ninja, but you wield them backwards, right? Like it visually, and your stance is different. Everything visually makes the ninja very different to the paladin. Whereas, you know, if they had a job that was like sword and pistol or something, or something akin to that, I think they would still even then make it something weird. Like it would be like gun and billhook, just because they would want it to have an identity.
Although we can't have billhooks already, because Lance, I can get them, right?
Yeah. But so, I don't think paladin is the problem in that equation, personally.
Yeah, I don't think it's prohibitive. Not at all. As long as they differentiate it in some way, which is easy to do.
Yeah. If you're going to travel with that little girl, I recommend moving her to the back row. Actually, that's really good.
That is good advice.
Oh, she's in the back row.
Oh, she's already in the back.
But so I really love the Dark Knight Cecil Amano art. I really wish that they didn't, that the pixel art here was more like the Amano art of the Dark Knight, because Amano's version of a Dark Knight to me is just, I love it. I love it, love it, love it.
Yeah, super iconic. Oh, Anselm liked our video on Mark. Thank you, Anselm.
Oh, thank you. I hope you continue to enjoy our future lore talks. Anselm, good to see you. Glad to have you. How you doing? I'm more concerned about the age. They had to age her up to make the design more valid for Rydia. That's my only nitpick. I'm not sure I follow what about aging her up in order to make it valid. Gladiators and Paladins have war picks. Yeah. They kind of have a lot of sword classes as is. I'd like to see a new... Do they? I mean, they have a great sword class. They have Paladin. They've got... I guess to me, there's a very big difference between like a dueling fencer and a... like Paladin sword and shield and a Dark Knight's great sword. To me, there's as much of a difference between a sword and a great sword as there is between a sword and a lance, like a spear.
No, they do have a war pick. They do have a war pick. It's it's PvP. It's not really a war pick though. It's just a sword, but with like a weird head. But that's interesting. I love war picks. They're like one of my favorite weapons. I really like the Godric soldier war picks that they use in.
Yeah,
I like those.
Nice. Although, you know, I take it back though, but you're right. Like your point, I guess I was saying that there's enough variety between them, but if you ignore what that variety is, there is Red Mage, Dark Knight, Paladin, Samurai. There's at least 4. I mean, I guess to a greater or lesser extent, you could argue the daggers of the ninja.
They're like barely. They're just short swords.
Right. I mean, they're just so huge is the thing.
Do we have karma? Can you get karma on ninja, like little scythes?
I swear to God that there is some kind of karma skin in the game, but maybe I'm wrong. Did we actually set it? We didn't figure out a course, did we?
No.
Demacian.
No, we didn't.
They really like the desert with as it's starting. There's the Dalmacian, Dalmasca.
Yeah.
The water caravans. The church pick in Bloodborne. Dude, I have never played Bloodborne. Every time I play Bloodborne, I'm like, I'm gonna play it with something different this time, and every single goddamn time.
I had the idea.
I just play with a goddamn saw cleaver.
I had the idea to play Bloodborne with every different weapon, like a playthrough with each different one. I didn't see it through though. would it make sense for there to be Viera and Emdapor? I mean, why not? Like, you could have like very, very, very small amounts of them. Yeah.
Do you here's the thing. Would it make sense? From a historical standpoint, not really. Could there have been at least one, or could the Amdaporia... Like, there's no real implication that the Amdaporia reached far outside of Eorzea, and also that the Viera had both the Scotty Mountain Range and Golmore Jungle Viera had only been there for long, long swaths of time, as far back at least as the 4th Astral Era.
But it's possible.
And there's not... But, and, yeah, bear with me on this. It's not the hardest thing to somehow manage to headcanon. There's just not going to be a lot of evidence to help support that or what that would have looked like. If that's... Like, it would not be the most canon-breaking thing ever, for sure.
Is there a sword style they haven't done yet? I mean, not really. Unless you were going like Urumi, like a whip sword. But not particularly. Now that they've got fencing swords and stuff.
Oh my god! Oh! I never thought I'd be such a fan of that. Oh god. Oh. So, I used to love, like, oh yeah, go buy your magic and equip your magic and, you know, like, okay, cool, I get to choose all these. Now I'm just like, yes! Level up and I already got Blizzard! It's just like, yeah!
Yeah.
God, it's convenient as fuck.
You could do hook swords, but you could probably get hook swords anyway. I'm sure that there's like a hook sword skin in the game.
Yeah, I hope we get bells. I hope we get I hope we get Geomancer bells.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of space to go outside of swords anyway. But you could go places. You could go actual dual swords and have them be bigger and stuff. And
I'm so torn. On the one hand, I love that Rydia is like squishy as all hell because she's a child and should be. But also, I'm going to have to level her up for a bit. Oh, I wonder. Wait, is this going to be the first game where we don't have to use a fucking church?
Oh, yeah, maybe. We haven't seen one, have we? I think the inn does that purpose, doesn't it?
I hope so.
Our fate, I like expression. Well, not our expressions, but I like reaction when the inn didn't revive us in FF1.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't want
bells?
I don't
want
Levi?
bells.
Why?
But there's a history of them in Final Fantasy, and also there's a lot of ways they could be expressed. I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like if the answer is, like, you only want things that are, like, hyper cool, I feel like that grossly limits the, like, level of different things. I like astrolabes and grimoires are already such hard weapons to do cool skins for. I would look at the ast weapons and disagree personally. There's some fucking amazing like, I think there's a lot. I feel like there's just as many cool astrolabes as there are, like, cool swords, or, like, great swords, or...
I would agree.
In fact, more, I would say.
I think there's a lot of really cool grimoires, but I do agree that, they're probably a little harder to make. They're a little more understated, but, I mean, that's fine. It's like, whatever.
But part of the but I feel like part of the thing that people don't always account for is that, yes, they're understated because they're smaller, but also they have 2 jobs they have to balance them for. Like, they have to, every time they make a grimoire, they have to make 2 grimoires.
True.
You know? We found a girl from Baron lying unconscious just outside of town. The poor thing's come down with a desert fever. She just keep muttering the name Cecil over and over.
Is it? Oh yeah, so I would like to see the dual-bladed, the sword that Zidane used, but I also don't really like them. Like, FF9 is like one of my favorite games ever, but I always use the daggers, even though they're not as good.
Rosa!
Cecil, don't die on me.
I forget, how the fuck did she get here? To cure desert fever, you need a rare jewel called the Sand Ruby, found only in the cave with where an antlion dwells.
Yeah, but I like generic weapons. They're really useful for like glamours that aren't super flashy, which is something I like to do. Like my main paladin, cause I don't think I've ever said this before. My main paladin glamour for Ninieri is a Breastblades cosplay with like a really basic scimitar. Like it's the ones that they actually use in game. All the armor pieces, shield included. So it's like very, very basic, very grounded.
Yeah, sorry. Give me one quick second.
Oh, lady, is that a reference to that comic, the web comic? What's it called? 8-Bit Theater. Yeah, whip swords are ineffective, but I mean there is real life precedent, and also we summon dragons and
aetherology and stuff. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff you can do.
I mean, one of our
feel like
classes
the
uses
thing
an astrolabe as a weapon.
Yeah, like the thing is that if you could easily just make it that the whip sword is it's a foci through which you channel aether, and that also allows you to directionally control it.
One Piece just got. Oh, this is a spoiler. Well, no, it's not really. One Piece just got a whip sword user the last like 2 chapters.
Nice. I was wondering how expressive attack animation you could get out of Abel's. I mean, I guess the thing is look at when you had classes using small foci, right? I think you could do a lot with in terms of, especially with your casters, you don't need to do a lot with auto attack animations, and so I feel like there's a lot the same way that you could have a lot of options with astrolabes.
Yeah, the I mean, Astro just pulls out a card and slashes. It's cool, but
Whoops.
Oh, you named your white mage after your aura. I see. Okay. I still remember my face the first time I read that that Aura tribe marries their horses.
Ceremonially, it's
yeah. I mean, it is true that it's ceremonial, but there's like, I don't know. I feel like there's some lines in before Stormblood that sort of imply it's more than that, and then they get rid of that in Stormblood.
Phoenix. I need to auto set it to because ready to keep. I need to just auto set her to heal for a bit.
That's a good idea.
Order status.
Oh, we have a 5-person party size. That's huge.
Kane, you, Rydia, Edge, Rosa. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I don't know why I thought it was 4. Configuration, battle speed, battle mode. Set time stops when selecting items. Cursor memory. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. I'm just gonna double check that they didn't add. No, they didn't. I was gonna say they didn't add the console stuff. I do not understand why they did not add the console stuff to the PC.
It's strange, yeah.
Jer, good to glad to have ya.
Oh yeah, I'd love to see a puppet Levi. I really liked the Mechanist or whatever it's called in Puppet Master in 11. They had like the.
Am I the only one who like I don't like puppets as a weapon?
Well, they had other weapons. Didn't they also have like brass knuckles and stuff?
Because like I don't know, man. I feel like I must be the only one. But like the thing is, I guess that's my thing is like I want there to be variety, even if it's a thing I don't love. You know, like even I don't like puppets, it's like I think there should still be more things in the game for more people to express in multiple ways.
Yeah, I like the Puppet Master, but I think so they could use daggers and clubs and fist weapons. Their best weapons were hand to hand, so they could use fist weapons as their main.
Yeah,
ones.
I guess just like all that's kind of already accounted for. You know, like brass knuckles is already monk.
They could give them like a one-handed
club.
mace.
I guess. There's a lot of mace stuff already, though, too.
Oh yeah, FF9 did have rackets. The white mages used them. Levi, Dagger, and Aiko used them. A battler decoy. No.
We don't have nunchaku. Do we not really have like nunchaku? Or,
no,
like, well, I mean, sorry, we don't have those. I mean, like, I was gonna say, sorry, I was thinking of Tonfa for a second.
Oh yeah, we have the Tonfa. I love the Tonfa. No, yeah, I'd like to see some nunchucks. Maybe that would be kind of cool to have nunchucks. I'm kind of thinking of who, like, I guess Ninja could use them.
Yeah, I guess like I don't know. I'm over here advocating for a bell, but for some reason nunchuck doesn't seem like a class like a specific job weapon.
I would be interested to see. Maybe it would be a hell of a pain in the ass with like rigging and stuff.
Whoa!
But, like, oh, we got killed by a Hundlegs.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah, was a Hundlegs.
Okay, we're gonna go down here for a little bit and just grind.
Oh no, so
it's interesting.
Oh yeah, go.
I felt the need to grind more in this comparison to 4. But there's also the interesting thing where there's not the job system, so it's also tuned a lot more.
That's true.
Specifically.
And we do have the drawback of, like, Rydia is like one of like an Onion Knight style character who starts off super weak and then gets like obscenely strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Nunchuck would fit a monk or a ninja class, but there's other spaces you could go in there with. I think you could also go with, I forgot it's called, like a Sangoshi or something. You know, like the 3-jointed staff that is almost like a big nunchuck that consolidate into a staff.
Oh yeah, that one. Oh, and Levi, you're right. Lulu does use that in 10. And I don't hate that in 10. So you know what? You're making me come around on it, and also it'd be cool to express with a bunch of different puppets of different characters. And
that
stuff.
would be really cool. See, I like the idea of like the mammoths though, like from 11, like the autonomous mammoths.
Well, they have. I mean, there's plenty of precedent for that in 14.
That's true, yeah. And also, AC brings up the ninjas from Hingashi, the mechanical stuff from Hingashi. Sorry.
Oh, like the stuff from Kugane Castle.
Yeah, Kugane Castle. Yeah, exactly. Which is interesting. A bra missile class. Okay.
I like Bells and want to see a chemist with the bandolier potions. Bring back belts, baby.
Yeah, so...
the one and only person. You came in late enough, V, that you're the one and only person arguing for that. for belts. But no, I want that back.
Yeah, me and Elio were discussing like a pouch as their weapon, or a pouch and maybe an alembic as well. Because Arcanist had an alembic as its weapon in 1.0, and you can see that if you play 2.0, because Oriange uses it for the first few bits.
Oh, fuck this thing again. Okay. Let's...
Yeah.
I can't summon
Don't
cannon.
fall prey to the hind legs. Sorry if there are any Germans in here. Puppet weapons but shaped like minions.
Kill it quick! Oh, thank God.
No, like you could have like puppet glamours as your weapon. Like you swap out like as you change the weapon, the puppet's armor changes. That's a lot of effort, but it would be cool.
See, but that's the thing is, I feel like, dude, imagine a puppet class where you could change, like you could glam the puppet into any of the minions. That would they'd have so many options off the bat.
That would be cool, to be honest.
But I mean, just even all the options that Lulu had were great in 10. You know.
Yeah, I guess that's right. I see. I'm not a big fan of the 10 Moogle. Which is
I love the 10 Moogle. Oh, dude, I think 10's probably the game that made me fall in love with Cactars, partly because the Albed's Desert, Bacchanal, the Tank Girl class. We might be going to Australian content representative. They're trying to reboot Tank Girl. So they're trying to make a new one with Margot Robbie helming it. I swear a new list for Sage started off with some kind of floating syringes for chemists. Yeah, you're probably not wrong.
No, they're from
that is basically... No, but I mean, like, but you know, you're right. Literally, they are just straight up from Gundam. But also, I can't help but feel like they are kind of just floating syringes.
They are, yeah.
Like,
they're like the coolest part of Gundam.
Also, I haven't heard anyone advocate for club class. That's because we have so many clubs already. There's already a bunch of club skins.
I'd like to see a club for like Beastmaster, maybe. But we do have a lot of club skins. But they could go further with it. You know, like them having the club skins doesn't prohibit it.
Would whip for Beastmaster be insensitive?
No. I think that would be like no, I don't think so. But I just sort of feel like whips aren't like they're not the vibe. Like usually Beastmasters in Final Fantasy have like hammers and axes, right?
Yeah, I guess like look, I'm constantly on about this, and I realize I might be just the only one advocating for this, but I do think you have to make things distinct, you know? And I just feel like those things by themselves aren't that distinct. But then again, you know, like, is a cane that distinct from a staff? Would I have argued that before we had blue? So, like, I feel like my point is kind of moot.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like they could always add quirks to it, right? Like, they can always add something to delineate it, some, like, weird trick.
Yeah. double. It's just mace, but it's mace on top and bottom. That definitely doesn't fuck up the ergonomics whatsoever.
That would be cool, like a meteor hammer.
See, yeah, look, I feel like, especially if you think about like Castlevania as a template, there's so much you could do with a whip-based job.
Yeah, they definitely could.
Oh, now speaking of flails and Morning Stars, now I'm thinking of what's its face from Trevor Belmont's like Morning Star thing. That would be cool.
Yeah. It's like a Morning Star whip, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That one.
And then like at the end of it, like flares with fire, like holy fire too. So that would be really cool.
Yeah, it would be pretty cool. If we ever did a
Like
Magic
ethereal
Knight
charge.
rune fence, I think a sword where the weapon by itself is kind of a big wand and then had a magic blade. Yeah, that would be cool.
Ooh, someone's talking about Rune Fencer.
Yeah.
I think the sword where weapon by itself was kind of a big wand. They have an energy magic blade that came out when they. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd super be down for that. I'm trying to think about making sure that it doesn't have too much red mage energy, you know?
See, I was actually thinking go midway between Dark Knight and Red Mage. You know the thrusting great swords from Elden Ring?
Yeah.
You could go. Obviously, it's gonna look similar. Different, but very similar to Dark Knight weapons. I think you could do something with it. Add it.
Yeah.
With swords, there's
I
a
want
certain
sword mage.
element where you can't fully differentiate them anymore, like visually.
Yeah. Yeah. Radiander Blightstaz looks too cool for her age. She does.
Oh yeah, I love the sunglasses. It's so cool.
One thing I do. Okay, so here's what I do miss. I like the straightforwardness. I do miss doing things like, oh, I'm going to use white mage spells and it's going to make me better at using white magic.
Yeah. Well, we all know how you felt about the WoW weapon proficiency system.
That's like the one thing I'm missing here so far. Oh, okay, cool. You can't go up there. Ooh, that's not good. Right. She can't see anything right now. She can't hit anything. Oh, okay. No, we don't have to worry about them anymore.
Oh, that's a meteor hammer, lady. Sorry.
Bless you.
the chain flail. Yeah, that's a meteor hammer. Go.
Ah, you must be the Belmont. God, Scytho in the fucking Castlevania anime was awesome. She was so great. Did you ever watch the Castlevania anime?
Oh hell yeah, I loved it. I love
Oh,
the
so good.
I love all of it. I do have to admit that some of the stuff with you know, like the final boss thing quotes of the of the last season wasn't necessarily my favorite, but the rest of it I really liked.
My problem was if they had had one more season to like set up that final boss stuff more, I would have been a huge fan. But it felt like there was about a season of like getting there that was just missing. Or at least that was my vibe.
No, you're right. I agree. Oh,
Dracula
Daniel,
was awesome, Issa, yeah.
I feel like having a weapon that is shrunken heads would get that would, like, whips weren't unsensitive, that might be. It's just
There are some moral quandaries involved with that. I think they should give people blitz balls. Look, as someone who ardently would love it if they did, I'm not saying we need a blitzball class. I would like a blitzball class, but at least give dancers a blitzball as a skin.
Yeah.
You know? But the clipping for those models would be a nightmare. Oh, I don't know how they do that. It would clip all over the goddamn place.
I don't know. Well, it could be like a chakram that folds out into a blitzball when you throw it.
It enlarges.
Oh, it's like an uninflated blitzball, and then it goes. Poof.
Yeah, and then like when you pull it out, it like grows bigger.
That would be awesome.
I'm down for it.
Oh, you just want the train suplex infinite.
Yeah, it doesn't use her wind magic often in the anime though. She focuses on fire and ice, which she used to great effect. Yeah. See proof. God, it's me. Rye's sense of humor is so perfect. Yeah, it really was. Dracula was so awesome. Yeah, I'm killing my boy scene gets me every time.
My God,
dude,
that
that
made me
season
cry.
2, that season 2 scene where they come in with bloody tears starts playing is so good.
Yeah, It really was. I like I'm actually a big Camilla stan. I like Camilla.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not surprised you're a Camilla stan. You know who I'm a stan for? Maybe a little unsurprisingly is I'm forgetting her name all of a sudden.
The big girl.
The one that what?
The big girl.
No. The one that Hector got the enslaved Hector.
Oh, Isaac. Oh, yes. The cute girl. Yes.
Yeah.
I did like that.
I found
that. What's its fight scene?
I would have loved another. Yes, I would have loved another like season of their like dynamic and relationship to build, so that ending that they get would have hit twice as hard.
Yeah, I would have paid out like 2 or 3 more seasons. I'd pay out. I mean, I have a sub anyway, but I would have been up for 2 or 3 more seasons of that like arc. Like I feel like they could have expanded it more. A good voodoo magic weapon. I mean, a conjurer is already basically voodoo.
Yeah. I mean, like the thing is, necromancy is inherently evil in a way that 14 goes to great lengths to show over and over and over again. In at least Atheris. Blitzball being a PvP thing, I think it should be a gold saucer thing that has a PvP component where you can either play against AIs or against other players, and just make it like 10 to an extent. I mean, like maybe rejigger some stuff, but for the most part, you can just make it like 10.
See, I just hate PvP.
Oh, I'm not a big fan of. I'm not sure I would be a big fan of it, but I think it would be super useful. But if you just make it PvP, you're gonna make about 80% of the people who would have played it not play it.
That's definitely true.
Like a lot of people don't play Triple Triad against other players ever.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see the Richter and Maria in the next season. Yeah. The new show they're working on should be interesting.
Yeah, I love.
I don't know if it'd be too close to I don't know if it'd be too close to machinist, but a hand cannon job might be cool, or even like an ancient Chinese fire spear job. Yeah.
You could do like do like an actual
firearms are gonna be interesting.
Job. Just do like a, the big cannon from Elden Ring. Just do that.
It's interesting whether or not the lengths they'll use firearms for other jobs in the future, because doing that and not stepping on the toes of machinists or what they might want to expand upon with machinists becomes hard. But I don't think it's impossible.
Yeah, I like that Streaker's big fight scene in the day armor was like an obvious reference to Berserk.
Oh my god. I literally was like, okay, so we're just doing Berserk now when that scene started.
Yeah. I mean, I never turned down
even the
Berserk.
vibe. Yeah. Yeah, definitely recommend it, Tail. Considering without spoiling it. Oh, Hydra, good to go to have you. That the Manderville quest I've delved into close into Blitzball territory recently, I would agree that it'd fit as a Gold Saucer expanded to the second floor. Yeah. I mean, the thing is that if you like, the Gold Saucer building is huge too, so they could just add another floor that you teleport down to, the same way that you'd have to teleport up to the like Chocobo floor and stuff.
Oh, I mean, you didn't have to like delineate it as Chinese alchemist. Honestly, you could build that stuff in. Oh, Tella! You could just build that into
Stella! I'm gonna try doing like the fucking the voice of the noise that the fish makes from Wind Waker. The shmee, hello, small fry. Could that be? It is the Dark Sword, Dark Knight. I need your assistance. What's wrong? I must get to Demacian to rescue my daughter. She was deceived by a wicked bard. He's quite spoony. We must hurry, for I sense an ill omen. You must be the Sage Tella. How? Cecil, how the fuck do you know that? Okay, Mark 1 on FF4 being a little bit early FF. First time.
Yeah.
Indeed, I am. That girl, she's a summoner. Perfect, she can help too. A giant monster lurks in the lake ahead. That devil even withstands magic. We can defeat it if we work together. Then I can finally be on my way. We need to reach Demacian as well. Then let us make haste. Sage Tellen, join the party. Oh, I forgot that he's technically a sage. Like, his job is sage.
Yeah, he's a sage, yeah. I
just always considered him, like, a magic user.
Yeah, he's sage in, like, look at his art. He's sage in, like, the FF3 version, where he's, like, a unified magic user.
Uh-huh.
Racist Grandpa Teller, yeah. He's, like, a Minwoo type character.
He is really a Minwoo type character. He comes in, he's powerful, but he's not Minwoo level broken. Like, he's advanced, but he's not just fucking clowning on everything.
I guess that's true, yeah. Why is Teller so old, but his daughter's young? Good
Dude,
question.
men can have children until the day they die. Semen is just as effective at 70 as it was at 30.
That's true.
What was it? Chaplin had kids in his 70s?
Oh, did he?
Something like that.
I wouldn't be surprised. It's definitely possible. Wait, hold on. Oh my god, so there's a prologue, right? To like a before 24 game, which is like, I think it was mobile only. It came out around the same time as After Years, and his companion in that game is Minwoo. It's a guy called Minwoo.
Huh.
Oh?
Oh, the game just crashed.
Oh.
I'm really glad I quick saved right there. You there?
I'm here.
Okay. Oh, that was so lucky! I quick saved like precisely 10 seconds before the game crashed.
God bless.
I'm just gonna quick save again.
Good idea. Don't forget to restream to me.
Oh, my thing broke too?
I think the stream is just diverted when it I don't know, something happened with it.
Oh, when it closes, yeah, turn on the camera. Oh, no, that's my face camera. Oh, my anus is unclenching. Imagine if Starling had an old historical stage and the record's named Tella as a callback. That'd be really cool.
Yeah. So yeah, the prologue game, which came out on like the mobile and shit. Tella's companion in like the like a few years ago was a guy called Minwoo, which is cool.
Yeah. Well, it also makes sense because he's referenced even in Mysidia.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah, because Minwoo in 2 is from Mysidia as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Roll enough dice, you'll get a 20 eventually.
Very true.
Spoony Bard. Do Dark Knights need a glamour set of day armor?
That'd be cool.
I want it. I know AI is very controversial. I agree there are a ton of problems with it, but recently I used a program to make a picture of my warrior light as every job class in 14. That's not... Look. There are all... If you cannot look at a new tool and not recognize it as very... Like, as the interesting possibilities that it will allow for lowering the bar for certain people, while also recognizing all the complications and problems it's going to cause, like, both can be true, right? Very few things are just full good or full bad. Yeah,
absolutely. They just need to stop stealing artwork and invest further in the more legitimate aspects of it.
Yeah, well, and also, you know, recognizing that that learning the skill to draw something and being able to, like, come up with and understand best rules about positioning, styling, all these things is not the same thing as typing what you want into a program, which then uses a mishmash of all the art that it has access to create something that it thinks is like that.
There are legitimately people out there who charge commissions for search terms.
Yeah. Which, I mean, look, if people pay, people pay.
Yeah, I mean, do what you want to do, but it's wild to me.
How about a ladder as a... That would be, that certainly would be something.
Oh, so there's, Liu Shan, the son of Liu Bei in Dynasty Warriors, in one of the games, he usually has a rapier, but in one of the games, he has a bench.
I swear, sometimes the Dynasty Warriors weapons are just, like... just the most extra thing possible, and you just have to wonder, like, why?
There is one game where Hongai, instead of having like maces and stuff, has just a boat because he like a canoe, because he used a canoe in the Battle of Chobi. So they just gave him a canoe as a weapon. I'm like, okay.
Okay, at least there's a reason. At least they had some kind of justification.
Yeah.
The Jackie Chan class. I mean, he designs a ruby weapon for a ladder that's also that's impressive. I don't know even how you do that. Are like the two ends of it like the barrels? Like, how are we doing this? New job, Geo Ladder. It's Geomancer, but they make ladders to slap people with. Ow.
A pro wrestler 14 job? That would be so hard to do, though. That would be so hard to, like, animate.
I mean, but also how different is that already from like? Have you ever seen the ultimate attack for Monk in PvP?
No.
It literally is you taking them and doing a fucking seismic tossing them on their heads.
Oh, okay. They should do like a BJJ, like a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class where you just lie on the ground and like kick and like grapple on the ground. You're just lying down the whole fight.
It's just them. You can only do things solo though, because you and the boss. You just have to basically play like a rhythm game.
Oh, that would be kind of fun though.
Next Manderville, it's coming. Have you played the latest Manderville, Naniri?
I actually have not.
I won't spoil it. You really need to.
Okay.
They have a solo duty in that is.
Okay, I will have to go into it.
Let me put it like this: they made Goldsmith a combat class.
Oh, good. I mean that makes sense with what's it?
Godbert.
Yeah, Godbert. I was gonna say Godric because I've been replaying Elden Ring lately.
Soul Calibur raising you Siegfried with a surfboard as his greatsword. Transformers shows that any object can be transformed into a gun.
Oh, you don't think Mime would be a good class of 14, but man, you want Mime armor sets. You could just have like they will probably just eventually get one for like a caster class.
Serious question. Can someone here give me a justification for what Mime as a job would do that would be any different than what Blue Mage already effectively does in 14?
How it's not copying, it's just like full like making invisible walls and stuff. Like you make an invisible hammer and hit things with it, you make an invisible wall as a shield with your hands. Like a Mr. Mime style Mime.
I was about to say, all I could think of was Mr. Mime the whole time you were saying that.
That would be perfect, I'd like that. A broom shot. Listen, if we're gonna have a Miko job, it would be with a Yumi, a bow. The final Marauder Mandeville weapon should just be a giant goldsmith hammer. Yeah, it should. That is exactly.
I'm down
what
for it.
Should be.
I'm down for it. Broom job. I mean.
It would just be a bow. A Miko class would just get a bow, right?
It really would. Yeah, that or I mean, it really would.
You could give them a Naginata, but then again, that's just Lancer.
Well, but maybe we'll get something like a Miko's Shrine Maiden outfit from Mount Ronka or something.
Yeah, it's possible.
That'd be cool.
And if we do eventually, you can make a sort of somewhat slapdash Miko outfit, but if we get Geomancer, you could also get it from there, maybe, or like further White Mage classes.
Yeah.
Or, there's so many ways to get that.
Dude, Mount Ronka. I'm not saying I'm definitely not saying Geomancer confirmed, but like with all the Hingashi stuff lately, I'm just saying.
Yeah, very definitely.
I'm just saying.
We're definitely on the Geomancer train in this house. You can literally only play it in parties, and your GCD copies the last GCD a party member did. That sounds so awful.
That sounds terrible. I'm sorry, but that sounds truly nightmarish.
I mean, it sounds fun. For like 2 hours.
Well, but let me okay. I understand. I combine the function of collapse letter with wielding. Literally can only play in parties and your GCD copies. Okay, so you can only play in parties. Congratulations, you don't have friends, and you made something that can't go into the duty roulette, and you don't have friends, so you just don't get to play this job.
Oh,
unless you try to do Party Finder.
I forgot about Go-Go. Yeah, that's true. That is how the clown
you would have several
plays.
But also that, not only do you have to be in a party, but you would have to be in a party that isn't with other people also wanting to do this thing. So you'd have to have people who want to play that thing, who want to party up, to have someone else play that thing, but no one else can play that thing.
What if you copy a Mime's GCD, then it causes like a nuke to drop out of the sky on the enemy or something? Could we get a boomerang job? I think so. But we would need to go big two-handed boomerangs, like a Duran has.
Yeah, it would have to be a Songo boomerang.
Yeah, like a big, like even bladed, like just a huge two-handed boomerang. And that would be really
It would have to be something that could not be a dancer skin.
Yeah.
At least in my opinion. I mean, like, you know.
So go just go real big with it. Go like I said, if you search Duran from Dynasty Warriors, then you'll see some of her stuff.
Mime Job would have no indicators. You have to guess the area or effective range. I mean, you're just saying just go play a job on Savage. Literally, what you're just saying is play a Savage job.
Yeah, exactly. That like similar to Yuffie, but similar to Yuffie's giant shurikens. That kind of thing would work.
Yeah.
For Boomerang class.
So Pavel, by the way, good to see you. Glad to have you. It's going. It's a day. It's definitely a day.
It's a night. Actually, it's a morning, I guess.
Oh, I forgot Tela had recall. I mean, this is the other cool thing about not having the job system is that they had this, right? Where they could have each character have weird shit.
Yes. Then again, I really like the idea of the scholar class as someone who I did like a lot of the stuff in the class system.
Oh, definitely. I would say I put it more as like two ends of a pole that I liked both ends of, rather like Floor just decided to go the direction of saying, what if we hyper tuned it and didn't give a bunch of options, but instead had like very specific things that everything was like balanced around, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's why like you and I, for example, even though I am just literally not good enough to play it, that's why we like Sekiro so much and stuff like that. The same philosophy,
right? Yeah. Yeah, definitely Yuffie. I need Monago to have a giant boomerang. I will not explain myself.
Yeah, I'd fuck
Two
with
finger
it.
class. They study the art from the Oppo. I mean, yeah, giant boomerang does sound like a combo of Dark Knight and it absolutely does sound exactly like that.
Oh, Black Desert Online has a boomerang class, a healer one. That's cool.
I wish Korean MMOs were not so pay to win, because sometimes they're cool.
Oh yeah.
Although,
true.
I also know that like from playing Blit BDO, the amount to which that game was like, yeah, story is a thing that we've heard of once or twice. I know part of that was that had terrible localization, but like that game was interesting.
Korean MMOs look at story and say, story? We don't have time for that with all the PvP we're doing.
I mean, I feel like people said good thing about Arcage. What the fuck? The more recent one, the Diablo-like. It is not Diablo.
It does
but,
exist. Like Guild Wars 1 had good story.
Oh, Guild Wars 1 though, it's not a Korean MMO, really. I mean, it's published by Nexon, but ArenaNet's not Korean.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
ArenaNet? No.
Isn't it? Am I wrong?
It's American.
Oh, okay. Oh, but it's a subsidiary of NCSoft, who are Korean.
Yeah. Yes, it's owned by NCSoft,
okay.
But that's why I was saying like they published. Sorry, NCSoft published it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I love City of Heroes a lot. Like that was like one of my favorite MMOs, and that was Korean, and that had a good story.
City of Heroes was Korean? That's wild.
Yeah. That's why it got cancelled, because it was huge in the West. Well, you know, not huge, but you know what I mean. But it was big in the West.
Big.
And then in Korea, they just didn't like it very much. So even though they were making
that kind of makes
more than
sense to me,
money.
though. That kind of makes sense to me, though, because when I look at that, that does not seem like the traditional fare of a lot of like Korean, like the type of MMOs that Korea consumes.
So the funny thing is, after a certain point, they started to create separate so like the original trailers for patches and stuff would be released in America, and then they would create separate ones for Korea and China that had like pretty like J-pop boys in them who were like special like ninja superheroes.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's not surprising. Yes, they finally added this. Okay, this is the thing I was waiting for.
Oh,
was for that adds this rooms in. You are literally correct, but for some reason, hearing it called a restroom is just.
Oh.
Shmee, we'll rest here. This magic field repels all monsters. You can save and use a tent or cottage in here. Let's use my tent to rest and prepare for the upcoming battle.
Oh, I see. I don't speak Korean, but my Korean pronunciation is decent. Like I've talked with enough Korean people, I've taught enough Korean children, and I've consumed enough Korean history and content to be able to pronounce the words correctly, at least.
This is interesting. Like this here, like this small moment, I feel like is another thing that 4 is like already showing.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. The girl is asleep already. She must have been exhausted. Who is she? A summoner from the village of Mist.
She holds great potential. With proper training, she'll be able to master many spells. Look at her, so sweet and innocent. She reminds me of Anna at that age.
Who's Anna?
My daughter. She eloped with a spoony bard to Demacian because I didn't consent to our union. Tell me, what business have you in Demacian?
A friend of mine has been struck down by desert fever.
Ah, so you seek the sand ruby. It won't be easy to obtain. But first, there's a small matter of the vicious monster that needs taking care of. A frightful creature. It is with 8 enormous tentacles. We must kill it and reach Demacian. Before it's too late.
Too late for what?
I don't know. I only pray my instincts are wrong.
Crazy looking. In a good way.
All set. Oh god, I love that. I love that. And that you can save. Oh, it's crazy to me that this didn't get added until this.
Yeah, and then it would become a staple.
Oh, you had a friend that worked QA at ArenaNet. Nice.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I've heard that ArenaNet was horrendous to work for.
Well, it depends. It depends on what point in time.
That's true.
The more level of evil, the more powerful companions who will join you later. Oh, wait, Rebel, is that true? That this higher level you are, the companions that join you are match your level? They're not just placed at an arbitrary level? Oh, man, that's amazing. And they didn't add that later in like, the 3D and stuff. That's in Pixel Remaster, too. ArenaNet is, in fact, American, yes. Never tried Guild Wars 2. I played Guild Wars 2 from beta to late into Path of Fire.
Tried it.
I'm curious, how good are you?
I was never able to get over my grief for Guild Wars 1. It's strange because it's still there. It's not closed down, but...
Yeah. Also, Holy Hydaelyn in this game is a year older than me. Yeah. Talking about... Yeah, FF4, yeah. Have you seen all those character Marvel's made just for the mobile games to appeal to the Korean and Chinese markets? I have not. They'll show up in mobile games first and then comics later. Oh, that's fascinating.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
Do you ever watch Final Fantasy Unlimited?
Yes. I didn't like it very much.
Is that the anime that was garbage?
It's the anime. It's terrible.
Yep, I'm looking at it already, and that is... Oh, dude, I've seen some other stuff from Final Fantasy Unlimited that's just wild.
Yeah, it's
I kind of want to...
not good.
We should watch it.
Oh, yeah, maybe we should watch it, yeah.
Like, have a community watch night.
Oh, should we do an Advent Children stream after we play 7?
Yeah, yes, we definitely should. Oh, it's not good at all. But is it not good in the fun way? Oh, so yeah, they worked on Guild Wars 2. Yeah, if they worked on Guild Wars 2, that's not surprising. Yeah, that's when the arena before the trial is so important. Skipping Mystia to power level game, pour a Metro Flare after a little. Interesting. Interesting.
There's an FF5 anime?
Let's take... There's an FF5 anime?
Oh, I have to Google this.
FF5 anime.
A Legend of the Crystals.
Legend? Yeah.
Oh, what a cute art style.
That is some late 80s and early 90s ass anime art.
I know, I kind of live.
Dude, but we should check that shit out.
We should check that out.
I wish I had more time to check things out, like to watch stuff on stream and stuff, and then also get videos done.
We can always do we can always just replay like after we watch 5 if we want to watch this on stream, then we can.
Yeah.
Oh god, oh it's only an OVA, so yeah, we can easily just watch that on stream. It does seem like there's a group of men, like obese men in burlesque gear in it.
I mean, that could be a strength as far as I'm concerned.
That could be, yeah, you're right.
Thank you, Ray Ray. We have opened a merch store. You can find it there, where you get red bubbles and all sorts of stuff. We've had people put our Graha stickers on their Game Boys, and I find it... I still find that hilarious. Girl shoots lasers out of her butt in the anime?
Oh, okay.
What? That certainly is a choice.
Look.
I would say, right now, one thing that I would like... So I don't... Maybe because how we're playing this, so I don't mind, the very hyper-linearity of it. But I would love if we had more choice in, gear or something. In terms of... providing us with more options to engage in the world. Because right now, you can't choose jobs, you're just kind of going through what it has dictated for you.
I feel like that doesn't change really until 9.
5 has the job system, though, doesn't it?
Sorry, what has the job system?
Doesn't 5?
Oh yeah, that's true. But I mean, in gear specifically, in terms of like making gear builds,
yeah.
like it tends to just be this is objectively better than the last thing. Which is one of
Yeah.
the things that I loved about 7 Remake. One of the many things is the way that they rework the weapons.
Yeah, I like, to me, if your game's gear system is just the next thing is always better than the last thing, might as well not have gear.
Yeah, it's just not and it's just got like, if it's got aesthetic changes, then that sort of softens the blow for me a bit.
But at that point, don't just take away stats. Just make it so you can buy glamour as an optional item that you can then make your character look how you want. You know, with that.
My dogs.
You know?
I need to get the duvet so I can like drape it over me in a leisurely manner, but my dogs are lying on it. Get off!
Unlimited was so bad it was hilarious. Okay, then we definitely need to check it out.
Yeah, we'll check it out at some
That's
point. I
offensive.
don't know when we're gonna check it out, but like with the 5 OVA, we'll just watch that after or before. Before would be so much funnier.
Just have that in your mind as you're going
Yes.
through and all you're thinking about. Red Moose. So they've used moose, they've used flan, they've used pudding, they've used all sorts of different.
Oh, they will.
Have they
use
used pie for these guys?
They will, but I didn't know if they have yet.
Which game?
Isn't there one in 9?
Oh man, I don't remember.
Let me have a look. The flan weapons. Yeah, flan, pudding, mousse, jelly, marshmallow.
Jelly. They've used marshmallow? Which game was that?
That was in 3. The 3 3D remake.
Oh, 3D remake. I was about to say, like, I don't remember that. We went through a lot of that.
It seems to be a specific name for the red ones, like literally red moose, this one that we're fighting.
Oh, interesting. So the color actually did change. 10 is flan,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
I've always thought flan as flan or pudding have been like the core ones for me.
Same.
Oh,
Flantasy. Fondue. Have they done fondue? That'd be funny.
That would be funny. Oh, they have barrefoire as well. That's the purple one, is barrefoire, apparently.
That's a very specific. By flan-tastic flan. It didn't help the main characters were kids named I and U. Wait, like, is it like literally I and U, or is it literally like is it Japanese I and U, like AI and YU, or was it like Kimi and Anata, or like what? I'm so confused. I have so many questions.
Did you ever play World of Final Fantasy?
A little bit.
It looks so cute, but I don't think I'd actually enjoy it.
It is cute, and it is. Do you want like that? Actually, is Final Fantasy fan service, like
yeah,
as a game.
very
like, people
much. Yeah. Yeah, very oblique.
What about Gelato? I and you love and courage. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes more sense, Levi. I like exploration, giving you new gear, and if you don't manage to find it with exploration, buying gear works as a catch-up system. Yeah, in general, I'm a fan of that as well, Levi. I just think that, like, if you don't do a lot of that, then it's still not that interesting, you know? Like, that's the thing to me, is that if there's just a very limited amount of gear anyways, it's just not that compelling to me.
Agree.
Man, this first dungeon is like pretty labyrinthian. It's actually, I actually really appreciate it.
This, it's what is this, the Cave of the Trials? I forget its name. Yeah, I agree, Levi. The designs are super cute. I really like its art style. I have to say, one of my all-time designs from the Final Fantasy series is the Mandragora.
Mandragora is a good design.
Yeah, I really like it.
I think there's a lot. I feel like honestly, to me, Morble is one of the all-time designs. I don't love Morbles, but I do think it's like you look at the silhouette of a Morble and you know it's a Morble, you know?
Yeah, that's true. I feel you. I like it. I like Morbles. I might like get more into like the cute ones sometimes, I guess. But yeah,
I would
really
say like any Final Fantasy creature that you can tell is silhouette. It's like that whole like design thing that they talk about with like TF2. With like if you can tell the thing's silhouette, without any other detail.
Yeah, there was there was a whole thing about that when it was you know, when everyone was pissed off that CalArts existed. There was like a big
That what?
Yeah, CalArts, because everyone was
was?
like, oh, CalArts is ruining cartoons.
Oh. Right. Nothing beats Tomberry for me. I'm a big Cactar fan. Cactar is my number one.
Cactar's not really good.
I understand. I do understand the Tomberry though.
Every time I
Awesome,
start
Raven.
a new Monster Hunter World playthrough, I have to catch a Cactuar.
I always forget that they're in there, and then I see them, and my day gets better.
Yeah, it always brightens my day. Bombs are kind of iconic. I guess I didn't really think about bombs all that too much.
Bombs are definitely iconic. 100%. Definitely one of the one of those classic ones.
What else?
Behemoths, obviously.
Oh yeah, behemoths. Yeah, they're kind of sexy.
You said that, not me.
No, Elliot said that. Alligator.
Yeah, definitely. Man, you're so right though. Morble and Ahriman are my This is Final Fantasy designs. Yeah, right. I mean, like, even if you don't love them, they're definitely iconic, no question. Back to Flans though, I really love those cyborg Flans are really interesting. Yeah, 13 had some really interesting ideas. I don't love all of its designs, but even like its goblins are like none of its designs are boring. Like, let me pull up the goblins.
Yeah, they are crazy.
If you guys have never seen goblins, from FF13, this is what they look like.
I love them.
It's such a wild design, but like it feels inspired, you know? It feels right for like their aesthetic that they're going for the game.
Not a single moment of those of FF13 is boring aesthetically. It's not always tasteful. It's not always like the best design, but it's never boring.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 3's Flan design. I've not seen it.
I love Behemoth. I hate Cactuars. The 10,000 needle attack hurts. Yes, it does, Daniel.
Oh,
yes, it does.
The Kingdom Hearts 3 Flans are so cute.
Yes, the Kingdom Hearts 3 ones from like the side quest stuff.
Yeah,
those
the
are really
ones
adorable.
are so cute.
Have you seen all the different fruits that they have on their heads?
I've only seen like the cherry and the apple from just my search now.
Yeah. There's an orange. There's like 13 I think different kinds or something crazy.
I love that. That's so cute.
Some of their side quests are annoying as hell, though, I'll say.
Kingdom Hearts is always like a bittersweet. Except for like Kingdom Hearts 1, it's always like a bittersweet experience.
I'm very big on Cactar, so glad they put the new Chocobo in the new Chocobo racing game. Yep. So many cool Final Fantasy monsters, agreed. Behemoths. Thought Morbles were a metaphor of the dangers of smoking. No, that's when they were called Malboros.
Yes.
No, the difference between standing up Behemoth and FF6 and Hrothgar aren't that different.
Yes, World of Final Fantasy goblins are very cute, and so that's true.
I don't know if I know them off the top of my head. Let me...
They got little army helmets on. So cute.
I can't be searching things I need to attack!
Yeah, this is the problem, right?
Oh! I love that! That's so cute! That is, I love that.
Yeah, super cute. Really.
And that is the perfect art style for that game too.
Yes, very much so. Oh,
now I want to get like I want to get like a goblin plushie from every Final Fantasy game or something crazy.
Oh yeah, that would be a cute idea because they're so overlooked.
Yeah. We'll catch up in a second.
Yeah.
This way leads outside. The monster lies in the cave beyond. There's a tent outside if you must.
I like that they try to warn you at least a little bit.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
It's interesting that they don't just like... I understand that they wanted to have like they needed 2 places to pause because they felt like those were good stopping points. Also, I'd like that because you can use the tents in here, they can make the dungeons much more elaborate and full.
That's
but
true.
It's interesting that you don't have the that you don't have the conversation right before the boss. I feel like that would be more resonant.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
But by the same token, by having it earlier, you get to kind of meditate on it. Unfortunately, World of Light doesn't have any official plushies. Damn it. Well, maybe what I'll do is I'll like rip the 3D models and then I'll just 3D print them all.
Yeah, it's a good idea actually. Oh, so the main character, well, the girl of the FF5 anime, according to ASG, is Bart's descendant, and due to the power of the crystals, she can fire butt lasers. Okay.
But why butt lasers?
I don't know. It would be boob lasers if not, I'm sure. Look at these tiny mages. Oh my god, those are so sweet.
Are you just like feeling seen?
Yes. Well, at least Naniri is.
Etsy might have something. Yeah, Etsy's always a good option, definitely. Goblin Princess of the World of Final Fantasy is kind of a baddie. Yeah. My favorite goblin design is the underused one from 7, but I'm incredibly biased.
They have like
What is the
beanies
7
on
design?
and stuff. They're like little Victorian orphans.
There's a Goblin Island in FF7? How did I never know that?
Can you?
Oh, okay, yeah, they.
You
Dude,
get it
this
when
is
you get the
literally-
airship, right?
Someone on the FF7 team had an idea of like what 90s like street punk was supposed to be,
Yeah.
and then made something off of that.
They're cute. I
That's
like
kind of
them.
amazing. I kind of absolutely hate it personally, but I adore it. Like I want it to exist. I'm glad it does. It's just like so the opposite of whatever I would have ever done to design them.
You know what I think is really interesting to talk about? The way that Yuffie's implementation in the original game illustrates, sort of like the game design like plan and how it unfolds and how not everything is delivered on. Because obviously, like almost her entire storyline is cut. But you can see how important it was with the fact that you literally fight her dad as a main boss.
With like Wushu and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fascinating. Yeah, well, and also the fact that she's so missable is wild.
Yeah, right?
He's down there.
Okay, the main character dropped the crystal, and when she tried to pick it up, she fell on it with her butt. That's crazy.
Okay, you have explained the literally why, but that doesn't explain why.
Or the moral why.
Like why that was chosen as the reason, or someone wrote that. Remember, story doesn't just happen. Someone wrote that.
Actually, through some ancient archaeological digs in an industrial animation studio, I've discovered some tablets that indicate that an ancient predecessor of ChatGPT, or whatever it's called, wrote that anime.
Now I understand. We're all doomed. Would they stop stealing Tell's MP, thank you? Like right before we get to the boss?
Right, yeah, we need that shit, please. Oh yeah, the remix implementation of the Yuffie. If you play the DLC, it's really worth playing. It's a really good DLC.
Yeah, I beat 7 before Retrograde came out, but I have Retrograde on my PS5 now, so I've been saving it for when we're gonna replay it.
Oh, good idea! It's so good. The way that they it's not really a spoiler, but do you mind if I talk about the gameplay that they did with Yuffie?
Yeah, go. Go
so because it's the only character you control in that is Yuffie, but you do have a teammate, Solon, and he can do stuff autonomously, but a lot of the gameplay of the DLC is based around using the core system of Remake to do combo moves with him, because you can't control him.
Nice.
So it's really interesting. I love that DLC. It's so good. And it's so goofy,
That
which is perfect for you.
That's
Yuffie, which rhymes, I guess.
Goofy Yuffie. Integrate is better. I still ain't too much a fan of the combat outside of DLC. Oh, see, to me, Final Fantasy VII's combat is... Niniri, why is it when people say things in chat, I always am over here like with like a fucking contrarian view? I feel like such an asshole. Anyways, like I 7 is probably... Next 16 and 7 are gonna be like basically my perfect forms of Final Fantasy combat. Like 7 remake to be exact. Like I love 7 remake is the perfect form of ATB, and then like 16 is looking to be like the perfect form of action combat for me.
I'm really excited to see you try the integrate stuff then, because it's so good. It's like it
Good.
builds on what that is to make it more interesting. It builds on sort of the remake stuff to make it more interesting almost.
Oh, that's not good.
You say it's not good,
Wait,
but
can I
it
still
is
cast-
very
Damn.
cute. Oh, it's a toad ogre. It's a toad ogre.
Okay.
Come on, Teller, do it for us. Do the job for us.
Oh, because it's not a turn-based system, I don't have to... Oh, wait, they cast a toad on me again?
Oh, just casting toad and you undo toad.
Oh, yeah, you didn't know that, but they, for some reason, they cast toad even though I had toad
Nice.
on, they, like...
Yeah, I mean, I guess they would be predecessors of the Nyx, but at the same time, like, Big Toad is not, like, a novel concept particularly.
Yeah, it's in multiple, like... Well, that was lucky.
Yeah. It's the only spell they know. They're doing their best. Leave the Toadgers alone.
God damn it.
Do you think does Cecil's toad color change color after he gets Paladin?
Oh, I hope so. I fucking hope so.
That would be so cool.
Oh, god damn it. No!
Oh god.
I
love-
just realized their toads all match their colors.
Yeah. They all
Yeah,
have unique
okay, yeah,
colours.
no.
It's so cute. I like the toad stuff
Yep.
in 7 Remake. I like the fact that they have unique attack like animations. It's so cute. I love it.
Oh, it is so good.
Astro Boy
Kinda-
has
okay.
machine guns in his butt, one for each cheek. Yeah, but Astro Boy's camp.
Okay, let's use an ether.
Also, I will say, shonen, like 80s shonen anime finds butt like fart humor so funny, and butt humor in general, and dick humor actually.
I can't. You're telling me that an anime is made for young, like, high school and middle school age boys finds those things hysterical? That
Right.
seems out of character.
I mean, it's very goofy, but at the same time, I mean, we can all accept that Tezuka was like a once in a lifetime luminary.
Okay. They did a little victory dance they do, yeah. Something I love is Toad Squad killing Cloud in FF3. Oh yeah, the glitch combo thing people do, yeah. Ribbit. Nyx and the Sprite originated but 6. But I always love the original 7's ATB system the most in the other games that emulate the combat system. I guess to me, I don't know that other than Overdrive, is there really that much different than 7's combat systems in 4? Like, to me, the thing is that the combat system, unless there's extra things that they bolt on besides it, like Limit Break or super special abilities in 6, like, it ultimately is the same fundamental system, you know?
I mean, outside of Materia, I guess.
Well, that's not the combat system, though. That's the equipment system to me.
I guess that's true. I mean, it plays in, but
You
yeah,
know.
yeah. Yeah, no,
Like, it does play in, but I guess to me, like, the fundamental... So, like, for instance, when I would say 12's combat, right? I wouldn't be talking about, like, licensed boards, abilities, or equipment. I'd be talking about basically, fundamentally, how you're engaging with the combat.
Okay.
Like, the underlying system at its core if you strip everything else away.
Okay. No, Levi, we're not talking about the OVA anymore. We're talking about the old, like, early period shonen, and like Astro Boy, like Dr. Slum, stuff like that.
And also, like, to be fair, like, shonen anime, like, literally what... Shonen is the demographic. Like, literally it is aimed towards middle schoolers and like, non-adult males. Like, that's why it's called... They're called shonen and shoujo because those are the defined demographics.
Yeah, and seinen and stuff like that.
Yeah, literally, like, young men.
But I mean, to be fair, I've always been an easy target for shonen. I love me some shonen.
I'm not criticizing liking it if you're above the age. That's just like, it is the demographic.
There is like 25 years for Astro Boy and Dr. Slump, but you can't deny that there is a certain oeuvre that runs through the influences of that period. Like it for a long time, they are very, very similar in sort of certain atmospheric stuff, certain humor, certain storytelling tropes, art style stuff.
Well, part of the problem is we're just so used to titanic shifts happening every like 5 to 10 years, whereas like the like change between anime in the late 60s versus anime in the late 80s isn't the hugest thing in the world.
Right. Like Tezuka's influence will never stop. But like a lot of stuff is like Tezuka like up until the late 80s in certain ways.
Partly just because things aren't being made as fast and as often, so it's like the like level of rapidity under which things change and adjust, and and things are bouncing off of genre is like isn't changing as quick.
Yeah, and it's also, although it's true that still nowadays the path to mangaka is still often by being an assistant. But back in those days, it was very much like an apprenticeship thing. Like the lineage and the instruction sort of ensured sort of a linearity.
Yeah, well, and the internet has changed so much too.
Yeah.
Plus, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but you really can't underestimate the effect that the existence of the doujin industry has had on mass consumption too.
I mean, look at Clamp.
Yeah. There he is. This isn't Ultros, right? What is it? Watch out!
It might be Ultros.
Do they call them Ultros?
Oh, no. Okay.
No, Octomammoth.
Ugly.
It's the boss theme!
Oh, yeah. Not the Ultros is pretty. Thunder. Oh, he's dancing.
I keep getting Troya in roulette and nothing but Troya, so I've been hearing a lot of this the past 4 months.
Oh, nice. Oh, he gets a golden frog as a paladin, Bramblebear. Nice.
Oh, he does? Oh, that's so good!
That is good.
Shonen Pre-70 wasn't that good, but it was bad. Shonen Post, look, once someone opens the softcore door, everyone follows.
I mean, Levi, most of Tezuka's shonen manga is shonen. I guess you could make an argument like Phoenix isn't directly shonen, but
I mean, it's categorized under that.
Yeah, I would say that Phoenix is loosely shonen. Astro Boy is like obliquely shonen. Yeah, he does transcend it, partly because of his age, partly because he's so fundamental. But I would.
I mean,
say
when something's a broad template.
Yeah.
I mean, the demographic it was broadly aimed at was still people in that age bracket. I mean, I don't know that I would say, I don't know the level to which it was just young men. So I think that's fair. And I mean, like, it's pre the industry taking off, right, in the way that it does. So that, like, the notion, something could be the prototype for what something becomes, but not be the, like, defining factor. So let's say Astro Boy was considered, is pre-shonen as a like, a notion in the way that we think of it now. Or even in the past, like, 40 years.
Yeah. I would argue
like
that Phoenix is very much shonen. Princess Knight is an interesting thing to bring up because Princess Knight was ordered specifically by the very early shoujo like magazines. In fact, I think it was actually ordered by a magazine called Shoujo or something similar to get Tezuka to try to make a manga for girls. So that's a very artificial situation.
Considerations around demographic have been present in manga and anime for 50 years plus.
Yeah. Princess Knight is pretty good though.
Didn't they say this guy was like resistant to magic or something? I swear he's taking it in the butt the whole way through.
I was wondering if he was gonna do like if he was going to that chocobo so ugly. It's not as ugly as Fat Chocobo
like,
from but
like yeah, like Reflect or something.
Yeah, I was wondering if like when his tentacles go down he's gonna do it.
Wow, that was easier than the Toads.
I don't think that manga would have survived. I don't think it would have kicked off if not for Tezuka in any way. Hydra. I think it would have just died out, and then it would have gotten its own comics industry that's quite different to what we see now.
Yeah. Rydia knows Chocobo Kick. I mean, it's the only summon she knows to start with. Astro Boy is definitely one of the shonen definers, which led to where we are now. DA and One Piece both would not exist without it. Yeah, I mean, look, a lot of the manga industry would more or less not exist the way it does. Well, no, you're right. It probably would have existed in just a different form.
Yeah, I think it would have been
one,
more
lady.
Western.
Yeah.
Come now, Demacian is beyond this waterfall.
We can have a mini mage summon Bramble Bear. Oh my god, I want it.
Wait, really?
It's a rare drop apparently from killing mini mages.
Okay, I will farm it. I will if I'm needing a break, I will sit here and I will farm that.
Apparently you can get mini mages, illithids, well, you know, like the squid mages, and goblins.
We've had castles getting bombed and destroyed in some manner or form for the better part of 3 games now, right?
Yes.
Like it's been a. I'm trying to think now. Like is like a city getting destroyed in some way present in the vast majority of Final Fantasies? And I think the answer is yes.
It's present
6
in
and
9,
7, 8, 9, 10, definitely.
Definitely 10.
I
don't think
11. I don't know.
12.
12, yes.
Yeah, 12.
Yep.
13.
13, yes. Yep. Like
13 yes, also.
14, definitely. 15, yeah, the attack on. Wow.
Yeah.
It's a really common thread, the destruction of a city. 14, Ishgard. Yeah, well, I don't know that I would consider Ishgard's under assault more than I would consider it destroyed or wrecked.
The calamity.
Like us seeing that. Yeah, I was going to go more with, I mean, yeah, Garlemald and yeah. Don't live in castles in FF worlds, generally.
It's a good advice, to be honest. There's never any good shit going on in there.
Are Krakens edible? I would say so. I mean, it's probably like calamari.
Yeah. Oh my god, I want calamari. Yeah, don't live in city spirit, better to live in a cave. Yeah, and then you can have like frog friends and like magic brooms.
I like heating and air conditioning.
The Piranhas can do that. Why not bomb the village of mages who are more likely to fight back? Well, something maybe worth bringing up the fact that they have dragons. Like this probably have air superiority.
Well, but they also took the advantage of the element of surprise and not only took the crystal, which was the source of a lot of their power, but also captured many of the mages. And so at the point at which, you know, like, they didn't have a lot of tools in which they were worried about them fighting back. Plus, they're halfway across the world, and they don't have airships. So, like,
True.
They wouldn't have had many recourses to, like, fight back, right? Maybe I'm missing something.
Wait, why do they have cannons on their ships when they could just throw a bomb ring at something and it would just die?
Maybe it's a lot harder to produce bomb rings. You know, maybe
true.
they're rarer, or, you know.
Is that? It is! Anna!
Do you want to do Edward?
Oh, okay, yeah. How am I going to do Edward?
You're that spoony bard! Anna ran away because of you.
How? I don't know how.
Shmee.
Give me a prompt.
Bisexual, wandering minstrel.
Like a Portlandia character.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I love that this goes into a battle.
This is the Spoony Bard scene, isn't it? Yay!
You're that spoony bard! Die!
Please listen. I don't know. It'll do.
Shut up!
Forgive me, please.
Take this!
Ouch. Father. Oh, that's Anna.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, Hannah, I'm so glad to see you again.
All you.
Okay. Hold on. Do a sample of Teller's voice.
Shmee! This is me talking.
Father, Edward is the Prince of Damson. Forgive me for running away, but Edward and I are in love.
Still, I knew I couldn't find happiness, Shmi, without your consent. I was on my way home when...
We were attacked by Baron's Red Wings and their commander, Golbez.
I've never heard of Golbez before. Who is he?
I don't know. All I know is that his strength was beyond words.
But why did they attack Demacian?
They wanted the crystal, and they spared no one to get it. My mother, my father, even Anna shielded me from their arrows. I found it. It's like soulful artist, I think.
I like it.
You love him enough to give up your own life.
Forgive me, Shmi. Edward, I love you.
Anna.
Anna! Anna! Damn you, Golbez! Who is that monster anyway? What do you know about him? Shmi.
I hear he arrived in Baron one day and became the new leader of the Red Rings. He could only have been there for like 2 days.
This theme gets used in 14. What is this theme? It's the
This is
overworld
Edward's
flight.
theme,
Oh, it's the
isn't it?
overworld. But this is also the same as the overworld theme. Bum.
But it's a different rendition, isn't it?
Let me get.
Oh, Zero's Domain.
They use it in Zero's Domain. Oh, that must be. I've only done that once though. I need to replay 6.3. Yes, or no, 6.2. 6.2. Jesus.
I guess that makes sense.
Oh,
then. Okay.
Yeah.
He leads them in their mission to plunder the crystals.
Snap your sibling, boy. That will not bring Anna back. Golbez of Baron, I shall take his life with my own 2 hands.
Tella, wait. You can't possibly go alone.
I will kill Golbez on my own. I don't need your help. I don't need anyone's help. Shmi.
Tella's left the party.
AC's just put up a good point. He thinks that Zero's Domain is based on this ruined kingdom?
I was just thinking about that too. I'm gonna look around and see if there's any elements that are
Okay.
worth pointing out.
Anna.
Stop crying. You pussy. You're a grown-up. You're not supposed to cry. I lost my mum, but I'm not gonna cry anymore.
See, you said that line, but honestly, frankly, is that different from what she is saying? to
I
him?
know it's not.
Rydia.
I don't care. Leave me alone. I'm staying here with Anna. I'll never leave her side. Oh,
Just slap the bitch.
yeah.
That's enough. You're now the rightful ruler of Demacian, so start acting like it. You owe it to your people, and you owe it to Anna.
Why should I help you?
My friend is in Kaipo, is suffering from desert fever. I need to get the Sand Ruby to save her. Can you help me?
What is her name?
Rosa.
She's very dear to you, isn't she? Like Anna was to me. You can find the Sand Ruby in the Antlion Cave, which lies to the east. The ruby forms from the fluid that the antlion secretes when it lays eggs. Gross, by the way. We can cross the shallows in my hovercraft to reach the cave. That's a hovercraft? After we acquire the Sand Ruby, we can cross the shallows once more to Kaipo. Let us be on our way. We really liked the Bard in 3, so maybe I'm hopeful for this.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe it'll go well.
Yeah, we have to cast
I'm not
FF4, but we can only use sitcom actors. Who is Edward? Oh,
Oh, I have to think about that.
goodbye, Anna. Chandler Bing, Prime Chandler Bing. Honestly, not a bad cast.
I would need to see like a list of sitcoms first.
Yeah, I would need to. I don't watch that many sitcoms. Oh, there's a treasury here that has a bunch of treasure, apparently.
Okay, sweet. I'll land in it. Something. Ooh, okay. This, like Parks and Recs or like Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, Aziz
Or
Ansari would be
Community.
a good Edward.
I think he's too like he's not.
He's pretty spoony.
I need something with a little less wit though. I need like. I don't know. I don't got a good one off the top of my head.
Oren.
I need someone who's a little better at being. Someone who's a little better at being miserable. Andy Samberg.
Ah, this looks perfect.
I need someone who can be miserable. Is the thing.
I need some. Yeah, but that's not like a
Um,
super common thing in sitcoms. Glenn Howerton, just put what's it from Dennis from Always Sunny in there.
Don't forget the treasury attached to the capsule. It has a ton of treasures. I'm assuming you mean this one.
Woo, fun! I love this stuff. Oh,
My eyes! I can't see. Who goes there? Don't let them take the treasure.
it's kind of horrific.
Yeah, that is like a little extra tidbit that adds a lot.
Is that a button? Oh, cool. It is.
I like that shit.
Yeah, me too. Oh, this is.
I like
Edward's
that there
door.
are a lot of like secrets, just like there were in 3, but there are a lot more well hidden.
They are.
So I guess that probably makes sense, going from the Super Nintendo to the SNES, the Nintendo to the Super Nintendo.
Yeah. Oh man, I used to love my Super Nintendo.
Oh man, I need to get a Super Nintendo. I just never got around to buying one because I never owned one.
Are they expensive?
But I love them. They were up and now they're a little back down.
Okay, cool.
It's helped somewhat that like emulation is so good, and not only from like Raspberry Pis, but like
Yeah.
what the fuck are they called? You know, but all sorts of stuff.
What was the console that came after the SNES? The
Yeah,
64.
definitely agree, Levi. They definitely have more character than. Yes, I have an N64,
I used to love.
and I have Mario Party. We need to play Mario Party.
Oh yes.
I need to get us like. I need to do like me, you, Issa, V, or Ray. We got to get like four of that group together. Maybe
I
have
used
like
to
team
play-
mods, so like V and Ray are on a team.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Ray's gonna kick our ass. I used to play a shit ton of Pokemon Coliseum on the N64.
Oh yeah, Pokemon Coliseum is very good. So I remember going into into Cutter's Cry and ARR.
Oh,
and
Stadium.
I don't literally this is like a watery cave, but because the antlions at the end, for some reason I always imagine that Cutter's Cries was somewhat inspired by this. Oh, this is subterranean cave. No, we need to go to the other cave.
Yeah. Wait. No, Antland's not in Curtis Cry. The Chimera is.
But the antlion's the second boss, the first or second boss.
No, it's not. It's just. Isn't it an ant? Is it an ant? Oh my god. I wrote like
Yeah,
a
look it up. It's
log
like Queen
entry.
Antlion or something.
Oh, but antlions are like they eat ants. They're not ants.
No. But like when we get in there, like look at the model. It's the same end. It's the same.
Oh,
enemy.
okay.
It even does the thing in the battle in Cutter's Cry where it creates the giant sand divot that the antlion hides in this.
No, that's a worm. That's the worm.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, the worm's the one who creates
Well-
the sun, is it? The first
Wait, the
boss
queen
is
queen summons from the center.
Yeah, the first boss is the ant, the Myrmidon princess. But that's just an ant.
Right.
But I see where you're coming
Oh,
from.
see, okay, well, when we get there, I'll point out.
Okay,
maybe
okay,
I'm
yeah.
just crazy.
No.
Does that make me crazy? Edward's full name is just crazy. Edward Chris Von Muir.
I like it.
If y'all do online MK stuff, we'd love Code Community Night. Yeah, I would love to do that. My problem is I just constantly am dealing with I have crazy chronic fatigue, so I have very few work hours, honestly, and so I just keep running out of time. But I'd love to do more stuff with you guys.
Hell yeah. I would love that.
Oh, God, I love Mario Party.
I've never played it.
Wait, you can't tell me that. Okay, we're gonna get that set up.
Okay,
We're gonna get that set up. I'd love to do more of going back to doing like stuff like Jackbox, but
That'd be fun, yeah.
yeah, but we just gotta have enough people to do it is the problem.
What's that drawing one? Where you draw like your gladiators and then they go in. People have to vote.
Oh, TKO.
I think so.
You draw like different art things on like, and they make shirts.
Yes,
and
yes,
you,
yes.
Like,
That, yeah.
vote. Yeah.
That would be fun.
Obviously, there were airships in like obviously 2, but also, and in 1. God, I'm already forgetting things. But 3 had airships. But were there like explicit hovercrafts at any
No,
point?
I think that's a very that's quite an isolated thing. I don't think we see it. Do we see hovercrafts ever again?
Hovercrafts?
Yeah.
I mean, in 14.
Well, yeah,
In,
but 14 has so much stuff.
10.
Oh yeah, 10. Okay, fair dues.
And some cutscenes and some stuff. And 7 doesn't, does it?
No.
Oh, okay.
Seven.
Sing, heal, hide. That's an interesting ability.
Hide.
Okay, heal.
It'd be nice to get the healing burden off Rydia, to be honest. Oh wait, Sam Riegel voices Edward? I did not know that.
That doesn't surprise me. Come on, come on, come on, come on. So does Hyde just make it? Oh my god, he just fled!
That's it. That's pretty funny.
I guess he just becomes not an option to attack for a bit.
That's.
I mean, honestly, that's nice for leveling him up.
Oh yeah, good point. Oh, so Edward is a special case. He always joins at level 1. Okay.
See, Levi, I'm a terrible, terrible artist too, but that's why I like TKO, because I can just write funny shit, and you still get rewarded for putting shit together in a funny way, or for having written funny shit. So you can be a terrible artist and still do really well at TKO.
Also,
you know.
even beyond writing, like drawing ugly stuff is funnier than drawing cute, nice stuff most of the time.
It's true. Wins a lot of the time. But also, it's like, sorry, this isn't a water cave. This is a dry cave. You know, like also kind of like Cutter's
Yeah,
Dry.
this is kind of
vibes,
yeah.
I'm gonna keep pointing it out as we go, and,
That's
and
fair, yeah.
I'll see it. He just left. Yeah, Infinite. Yeah, Edward just left. I'm so surprised as a fan of Critical Role going to AR and hearing a bunch of recognizable voices. I only see post AR cutscenes before playing. Yeah, there's I mean that part of that's the problem of well, not problem, but in America, once you're in like the rung of like the highly used actors and are part of a house, you tend to get put into a lot of stuff because, for instance, if you know that any of them get hired, a lot of times the others will get hired. Like there's a certain percentage of voice actors for the entire project that have to be used from that recording house and things like that. Which means that there's like a much more. That's why in ARR what happened was they could only use specific people.
Oh.
Under the same house, which is kind of why like some don't feel like the right choice, but they had limited options.
I didn't even know that houses were a thing.
Oh yeah. Like well, they're not even literal. They're not literally houses. They're recording companies.
No,
and stuff. I don't have the.
Yeah.
I don't know the. Yeah.
No, I know what you mean.
But. God, fucking moose, or jellies. Oh yeah, so red was moose, yellow is jelly. Interesting.
Purple is Barfois. Actually, it's Bavarian.
Is it actually?
Yeah. Apparently.
I thought you were fucking with me.
No, it is. Antarctic wind? What?
Yeah, it's an
does
item.
use that? Oh, okay.
Because I knew it was gonna take forever to get through them because with like Rydia casting spells, so I thought I'd.
That's fair.
Man, there's actually a lot to explore. I appreciate that.
Yeah, the dungeons are
That just
much
feeds
more,
my inferior to.
like, they dispense with the labyrinth aspect of every dungeon just being an annoying labyrinth. And made them actually, like, proper dungeons.
Jam-packed.
Yeah.
Did he just
They
hide?
ran!
Like, He just went and used hide because he got to low health.
Yeah, that's so funny.
God damn it, Evan.
I kind of love that.
Yeah, Levi, and I know. I feel that, and sometimes it just feels bad to like constantly reminded.
Yeah.
I always have the trivia of Merlweb's VA and AR just being Elwyn from Skyrim. I just think it's in her current voice actress is a actress, a British voice actress who's been in has a bunch of bit parts in it. Stuff I love like Doctor Who and
oh yeah, who is it?
The Thick of It. I'm forgetting her name. What is it? Merlweb voice. Honestly, Ninir, you actually might know her if I pointed her out. It says Jean Giplin, but I want to make sure that that's... No, Jean Giplin is the original. I was about to say, I don't think that's right. Tracy Ann Oberman.
Tracy. Oh, the name is definitely... Hold on, let me Google her.
She's a character actor who's had bit parts in like all sorts of BBC stuff.
Oh yes, I know her very well. She's been in soaps quite a lot.
Yeah.
She was in...
So it's funny, because I heard her voice and I'm like, I recognize this.
She was in EastEnders.
Mm-hmm.
Which I grew up
Yes,
watching.
thank you, Zapapple.
Soaps
There's some really cool voices. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
Honestly, there's some really cool VA voice, and ARR Merlweb was one of them for me. Honestly, my thing is that I agree. I think ARR Merlweb was awesome. To me, Heavensward onwards, Merlweb is just as good and not that vocally different. So, like, I'm not particularly bothered by it. And the thing is the amount of voices in ARR that are just miscast to hell, not even just bad voice actors, but just, like, miscast to hell is just too great. You know?
See, the only place that I've ever found that's as obsessed with soap operas as the UK is Latin America.
Oh, man, like, they go hard.
Like, every day, we would get home and watch 3 soap operas. EastEnders, Coronation Street, and, oh my god. What's the other one? Ray? The other big one. EastEnders, not Hollyoaks.
I also just love how they unified accents. So, like, for instance, all the Alamegans have a Mancunian accent, stuff like that. There's some gems from AR that it misses all. Yeah, I totally am with you, Zep. I'm trying to think about the ones that I do miss from ARR. Merlweb's preeminent. I know some people really liked oh my god.
Raban?
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Raban.
A lot of people like Raban. I'd like Mancunian Raban so much more.
I like them both. Like
orders of magnitude.
Oh yeah, Ida's ARR voice actress was good actually. That's true.
Ida, really? I feel like she was like very like ditzy, high pitch. I mean, which I guess is right for Ida, but would have like really been off for me for like Lise.
Yeah, it would have been off. They would have had to have changed it a little bit. Like had to have toned it down. Definitely.
And if you heard like Lisa's voice actress in the like 2.5 stuff, where they did for because her and Papalimo are at the battle on that like she did a good job of also like kind of like playing it a little bit differently there.
Yeah, she did do a pretty good job. Yeah.
You missed the Nanamo one? Really?
I literally could not tell you what the old Nanamo one was like. I just don't remember.
Oh, Sultan Tree.
Oh, okay.
Need I say more?
No. Oh yeah, La Habrea's VA was pretty good, but we never got an updated one, so.
I'm torn because it's good, but it's torn. I'm torn because it's good, but it's also like it's Gaius levels of evil. Like it's playing into it so hard, and I would have loved like a performance which works for what ARR is, right? It's the right kind of tone, but I would have loved a version that was a little bit more elitibus, a little bit less like, and the darkness shall subsume the earth.
It's all the body changing. That's not the voice.
Yeah.
Guy.
Because like elitibus has like a deep and like disconcerting voice, but is still like has depth to it.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, I like post ARR for Gaius Zephyrville.
Oh man, Bruce Bolton, his voice actor, that voice actor for that is so good.
Yeah, he's really good.
Like, can you imagine, like, old Gaius' voice actor trying to do some of, like, I know there's not the voice actor, but imagine, like, some of the lines and whirl it, some of the, like, the subtleties, like...
Yeah, it wouldn't... well, I mean, no, in fairness, I'm sure the voice actor can do it, but he would have had to have changed it quite a lot.
Yeah, like, that voice actor has range, I know for a fact, because I've heard them in other stuff, but the thing is that, like, I don't know how he could have shown that range in a way that wouldn't have just been effectively a different character at that point.
Maybe that would have been
Because
okay. Well,
because yeah, right, but like he just plays him at 11 throughout the whole thing.
yeah, he does.
FGAR is really good.
Yeah. There are some
I don't remember
characters
Papalimos and
that should be played at 11, which is like Nero.
Yeah. Yeah, but like Nero also has moments, you know, where it like drops a little bit. Like he's extra, but he's not being played at an 11, you know?
Yeah, I guess that's true. But then again, I feel like that's also a later thing as well. Like he starts to tune it down more later, like Omega, and I guess.
Sure, but I mean, he has even like more subtle moments where he's talking to people, like after Ifrit and Titan and stuff, like where he like can be like fucking with people, but he's still got like he's not going crazy.
That's true. Yeah.
He just can't have been well directed for playing guys. I mean, but honestly, based on a lot of those performances, I don't think any of them had good direction. I have to imagine that. Like, the amount of voice actors in ARR who are like, can give wonderful performance, who give pretty mediocre performance is such that I just have to believe that the direction on that was not good. And, like, monophilias.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember Papalimos and Heavensward Onward very well, so I'll definitely take your credit for you guys for it. Second one, apparently, I know the VA and 2.5 for Nanamo is not the same as 2.0 and 3.0 onwards. Is that true? Interesting. Voice-wise, we still hear his voice a lot because of Prey. Yes! It's true. Sweet.
Prey.
Please don't be a chest full of monsters. Also, I've noticed we haven't had...
Ooh,
Lamia.
ah.
Wait, Lamia!
Is that our first
The
one?
Lamia are... Yeah, well, I don't know if it's our first, but it's definitely... That's an interesting reference. And interesting that it's in the Sandy Desert place, too.
That's true.
Now, to be fair, I'm not sure Connie Senna has gotten better. Yeah. I think it's pretty the same. I think...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's kind of said as not like... Her voice acting never calls for massive, like, diversity of voice, so...
There's like a patience and a monotone that's kind of like what she's supposed to be doing, so it's correct, even if it's like can be a little bit underwhelming. I guess what I would say is I don't think the new one is necessarily that much better, but I don't think the prior one was bad.
I don't think you needed improvement. Like, what other direction could you really go to with that? I don't think there is one particularly, so it's fine.
You know, as a speaker and hearer of the forest. So Kingdom Hearts levels of campy, FGAR giving the anthem. See, okay, here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to just say, like... Oh, the anthem Terranor lines with... Yeah. My thing is, like, if you ever heard... Go back and listen to Kingdom Hearts 1, Billy Zane's anthem. He's fucking performing the shit out of it, and it's so good. It's so good. And it's like, it's not even just campy because it's being played... It is campy, but it's being done with such gravitas. It's so good. I'm just... It is really good.
Oh my god. My disappointment when they didn't get Danny DeVito for the Satyr in Kingdom Hearts 1.
For Phil, yeah.
Yeah, I was so pissed off about that, but I guess...
The replacement's really good, though.
I don't like it that much.
You don't? Oh, I thought the replacement did a really great job.
James Woods was in there with his
Yeah.
with his COVID.
So was the original Ursula. I try not to think about it. I like Hades too much. Don't do this to me, Naniri.
He's a really good actor, but...
Yeah. Shame Connie Senna's Royal Quest was in voice. Honestly, shame all of them were in voice. If they had been, some of them would have hit twice as hard, which would have been impressive.
Right. Oh, listen, Zaperville, I'm a huge Papalimos stan, as Elio knows, but yeah, I mean, I would have loved to have seen him get the Shadowbringers treatment.
Oh, man, yeah. But I will say, the more characters you put in Shadowbringers, the fewer characters would have been able to have moments to, like, be more, you know?
That's the problem. The cast is so stacked with such heavyweights that it's like impossible to choose which one you'd replace him with, right? You'd replace for him.
Right. Which is why I'm super okay starting to shift out some of them and shifting in new blood.
Yeah, exactly. Not get rid of them, but like let them take a backseat.
Yeah. Wasn't Richard Epcar also A.R. Ilbert? That sounds right, but I'm so bad at remembering some of those names.
I don't think Ilbert only got like a few voice lines outside of the banquet in ARR, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a couple, but not much.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, he was the Mancunian. I remember him having a Mancunian accent, but I may be wrong.
Yeah, I think that by the end of it, they'd started to illustrate that sort of. I mean, it's not all Mancunian. It's like Mancunian and some Northern accents and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's.
I'm generalizing hard. I'm definitely generalizing.
Yeah, I know. I know what you mean. Like, I think by the end of ARR, they started to build in that direction, and then obviously come like Ishtar and come Heaven's Ward, and especially of course Stormblood, they really commit to it.
Oh, Daniel, are you saying you don't remember Papalymo, Elio? No, I remember Papalymo. Oh, sorry. I don't know why, but you guys said Papalymo earlier about in his voice actor. I thought I read it as Papa Shan. Yes, I do remember Papalymo's voice actors for both of them.
God, is Papa Shan even voiced back then? I guess he probably must be, but
would explain why I didn't remember it. The only moment Nero's 11 is the moment he kills a spy and detects after messing with them right before he fights with Sid. There is one other moment, and that's at the top of the Crystal Tower when he detects the thing that he's looking for.
Yeah.
But yes, but correct.
There are other moments where you can tell he's going 11, but he's not voiced.
We didn't spend enough time with Papalymo. Yeah, there needed to be a little more Papalymo time. However, I think Papalymo going out the way he did, I think killing off in Stormblood, him going out the way he did actually, I think is really affecting if you know 1.0 lore and you know the larger lore, which is not a defense. It's really, I'm not trying to defend it in that sense, but the fact that he went out the same way Louis Swa did with believing and always having been close to Louis Swa and his master and, you know, being the greatest student of Charlene and of Louis Swa, I think that's the best way he could have gone out. And so, like, having that be a capstone. The other thing is you needed it to be Lys. You needed Lys out from under his shadow before you could allow Lys to grow. So you can't have him being Lys's mentor because she needs to be able to be out from under his shadow.
Zephyrville's got an interesting point, which is have Papalymo stay alive in Stormblood and then like replace Conrad as a mentor and then die in Stormblood.
Right. But that's what I was kind of responding to. There was like, to me, the problem is that they don't do a good enough job of letting Lys grow in the first half of Stormblood, so it doesn't become as apparent, and so they don't handle Lys well throughout Stormblood. But you do, part of what allows her to switch from being Yida to Lys, to step forward, to like unmask herself literally and figuratively, is his loss and him not being there. So like, to me, I think putting him in Stormblood leaves less time to characterize Lys, has Lys having to do more work from stepping out from who she was pretending not to be, you know? Do you agree with that, Naniri? Do you disagree?
I do agree with you there, but I do also think she was. It wasn't particularly well handled, but she was already starting that like in ARR. No, wait, sorry, in Heaven's Ward. Sorry, definitely not ARR. I think they could have.
We don't get them back until 3.4.
Yeah,
really.
but no, but she shows up in the in various cutscenes, right?
In 3.4 onwards?
Yeah, in Heavenswood, she's you get the cut, like the side cutaways to her in like caves and shit.
Oh yeah, the periodic small cutaways. Yeah, there's
that's
a couple of them. I think there's like 2. Yeah. But yeah, I think the problem more generally with that is that like stuffing Stormblood with more characters that you would have to give time to, I think would not have helped.
No, I mean you're right.
They don't, like, having replayed it recently, I feel like the big problem with Lys for the most part is more rooted in the fact that they don't really start hardcore characterizing her until the back half of the expansion as a whole, and then even more importantly, they don't even do that tremendously well.
They could have done a lot more with her as a foil to Fordola.
Yeah.
And they do that in the role quest.
Yes.
Like, they do build on that, but it's just not necessarily execute the best in Stormblood. And I should note, I am a big Stormblood stan, so.
Yeah. The thing, too, is, like, she also already is trying to step into a role as a leader, which means that she's working with Raoban and trying to, like, learn from him. So, like, to still make her everyone's protege while she's trying to step forward into her role as a leader and who she is, you know, I think can diminish it. But I totally agree that we just didn't get enough Papalymo. Yeah.
True.
I think it was really cool, absolutely. Unfortunately, I didn't play 1.0 when they said I'm Louis Such Grace people after. I was like, huh? When was that established? And then he died. Yeah, which, totally fair. I think there's like one or two references to it throughout 2.0, but if you're not paying attention, you're not going to notice it. I was still on the free trial when I got the Griffin on the wall, and I remember doing the Novice Network and asking if my decision even mattered. I think it does matter, though. It matters, I mean, which maybe some... to me, like, whether or not it changes fate is different than whether or not... How you characterize you... Whether you respecting his choice versus being there for your friend until the end, you know? The funniest part for me is that if they think Lisa's character wasn't very memorable until post-Stormblood, I love her in the post-patch content and pre-Stormblood, but in Stormblood MSQ, not so much. Yeah, understandable. Yeah, Elise would work so much better if she was compared with Fordola more. To me, Fordola is a much more sympathetic character than Elise. I mean, partly because you get more characterization of Fordola than you do in Elise, which is wild.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's not singularly that, but it means, but it is definitely part of it.
Fordola's a fresher
So, like,
and more sort of dynamic character, very much in Stormblood.
yeah, and you get to establish them and have them be on a much more full and detailed arc. So if you look at this, like, there's even the descent, right, into like this pit area, which is kind of like the boss arenas in Cutter's Cry. All you.
This is where the antlion lays its eggs. It's okay. Antlions are quite tame. They don't attack people. Okay. Here, I'll demonstrate by taking the sand ruby, like so. Ah!
Come on, we have to help him.
It's true, Zafali, that fuck, that's ugly. That Alamigo did get a little bit cut off relative to other parts of Stormblood, which is a bit of a shame.
Well, my thing is that if you think about Stormblood in 4 parts, it goes Girabanya, Othard, Girabanya, which makes its pacing feel off and weird. And then on top of that, you spend so much time doing setup in the first half that, like, you don't really get to integrate things into the back half as well. And then on top of that, or the back fourth, then on top of that, it's relying on the juxtaposition it's creating between, like, Doma and Othard versus Alamigo. But you're so much more compelled by Doma, the step, and the stat stuff that the Alamigan stuff just seems, instead of, like, juxtaposed and, like, strengthened, weakened by comparison.
So I agree completely.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. The whole pacing of Stormblood is a bit of a complex thing. I think that, so, I just had this thought. I think the Venn diagram of people who loved and defended Stormblood, the people who loved and defended Mr. Pandaria, is a circle.
Well, they both are famous for being very good content expansions. Like, in terms of, like, they release a lot of content, right?
Yeah, true.
No, but, like again, reiterating, too, like, going off of that, like, think about it. You spend the first fourth dealing with all this setup for Alamigo. Then it has its mini-climax, sure, with Xenos. But then you don't get you get to your first dungeon at the end of that. Like, that all ends, first dungeon, and everything functionally completely resets, and then it's all about building up Othard. So, like, you just throw all that away. And while, yes, it's important in coming back to the end, it doesn't run together smoothly. You know, it's like an abrupt halt.
True. Zapa's got a good point as well. These zones in the east are much more dynamic in terms of appearance.
Oh, yeah. I mean, think about Ruby Sea, Yangsha, and the Steppe compared to desert, mountainous desert, and salt lake desert.
Yeah, it all does blur together, like Levi has said as well.
Yeah,
it's a shame. I like the idea of the salt locks, and I like the salt elementals as well quite a lot.
Yes. The things that they do to differentiate them, I think, are great, but they don't differentiate them enough, and the color palette isn't stark enough of a change to make it feel different.
Yes.
And then you juxtapose that to something like Shadowbringers, which is just an entire, you know, like every map is completely different from the last.
Yes, agree. Yeah.
And Endwalker, I mean, too. Like, Endwalker's all over the goddamn place, in a good way.
Yeah, I feel like in terms of zones, honestly, Shadowbringers might be the best. Like, zones aesthetic identity.
Do I agree? I think in a holistic sense, I emphatically agree. If you're talking about, like, holistic and, like, standalone as an expansion,
Yeah.
the amount that Endwalker does to expand, I think I love... I have, like, a personal bias towards, but I think holistically and like, especially as a singular expansion, 100% would agree.
Oh, yeah.
Obtain the Sand Ruby.
Zaper, we can't forget Scala and my obsession with Scala, finding out more about their culture. How could this happen? They've always been totally harmless. They're the size of a large tank and they have jaws the size of a horse, but harmless.
Monsters are growing in numbers of late, and their behavior's changing as well. I don't remember this plot element being, like, so thoroughly established. This is cool.
It's very
I can't help but feel
FF1.
this is some kind of sign. Yeah. Except for done well.
Yeah. Come on, let's go kill Rosa.
Right, let's go. I love Endwalker's variety of zones just a bit more. Yeah, like, the thing is, Endwalker has just, like, a really weird, eclectic variety in a way that... Like, fucking Shadowbringers is like a Mario game. It's like Fire World, Water World, like, you know, it's like the breadth you'd expect, and that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. It's just that the weirdness of Endwalker makes me kind of like it, you know.
Yeah, fair.
Emergency exit, baby. But
Oh,
that's
hell
definitely
yeah.
personal taste. Would you say at least character realizes full potential? No, I don't think so. But they always say in hindsight 2020. Yeah, I definitely think Lisa's does not reach her full potential by the end of even the Stormblood patches. I think still hasn't.
Yeah,
Levi say it does.
I didn't need
Sorry,
Alamigo
go ahead.
to be that big, but I would have liked the Alamigan city to be bigger. But I don't think it needed to be a whole zone. I mean, there's no law
It's
to
funny, though,
indicate
because-
it's that big a city.
But also, it should be smaller. But it's bigger than most of the starting cities.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Like-
But it's so dead. Like, it just doesn't feel as well put together as, like, you know.
See, but
Yeah.
I kind of agree, but I also think that that's mostly just a byproduct of the fact you can fly over it. Like, if you actually walk its streets, they're very vibrant and full of people.
That's probably true. Yeah, it's nice enough
Like,
aesthetically. It's a cool city, but
Yeah. Alamigo, Alamigo, it just feels like a giant wasteland. Alamigo or Gearbond? If you do me Alamigo, then yeah. I think there's memorability. I can remember all the zones of Doma with amazing clarity, while Alamigo seems like a giant blur of a single zone. Which I want to point out, originally they were going to do Alamigo as a single, like they're going to do all of Gearbanya as the expansion. Can you imagine 6 maps? Like, that would
they
have been
would have
insane.
had to have done a lot more.
Yeah.
But maybe they could have. Like, maybe they could have had a zone that was very Indian inspired with the not Naga, Anata.
The Ananta? Yeah.
And then they could have had like a very wildernessy sort of like heath and like thorny one for like Managa's tribe, the M tribe. Maybe that would have helped.
I genuinely feel that the big problem is not even necessarily the topography in terms of its look, because I think if you actually like look at the maps closely, they are really different. But they feel like they blur together because they're all arid and brown with some little bits of color. And I think the thing is that if you like made their colors much more starkly different, it would have gone a long way. If you had made the fringes like brown, that like green fading into brown, like it is, and then if you had made the peaks like really, really gray or like something, you know, like really starkly, and then you had made the locks super like red clay, like red and orange, like hardcore clay, and then like the salt white of the locks. I think like if you'd done something a little more stark, I think they might have helped discern it in people's brains.
Here's my proposal. For every expansion,
Yep.
we just go like every zone is a color of the rainbow, like in Burning Crusade. This is purple zone.
I mean, to be fair, like they kind of did that for Shadowbringers.
Yeah, they
right?
did. Yeah.
You think about like an ambery red brown for
you've got that Calusia. You've kind of got like white. If you with Raktika, you've got like greens with Ilmeg. Meg, you've also got like pinks and greens. You've got the Tempest. I mean, what is the Tempest really? Gray and coral.
Great, like a bit of blue. There is like a little bit of blue in the air.
Yeah, but they still feel starkly contrasted.
No, yeah, they definitely do.
Like I ignore the 3 Almegan zones look so similar. How they culturally different from each other. How are they? Well, they're not supposed to be culturally that different from each other, though.
Yeah, I mean there are certain areas like the borderline between the Shroud and what's it, which obviously have their own cultures, and then there are like subcultures, but it's all one nation. Yeah. It's like there's not massively different cultures.
If you're not part of the Ananta or the M tribe, you're basically just effectively an Alamegan, like a Yerbanian in general, or like just still an Alamegan, you know?
Yeah.
Like Gromwell.
And they did a decent job of depicting some stuff. Like they do a lot of work to build up the admittedly decrepit salt trade around what's it around the locks, which is interesting.
Yeah. Real quick, let's get Rosa, and then we can continue. Rosa.
Yeah.
Give her the bomb ring.
Haha. Why do I still have that?
Rosa is exposed to the light of the Sand Ruby. My imagination is that the bombs are released, so you still have the ring, but there's no bombs in it.
Okay. Yes, AC. Gerbani was always very hard to live in.
Yeah.
Oh.
Throughout history.
Cecil. You're alive, thank goodness.
How do you feel?
I'm fine, but I thought I'd lost you. They told me you died in mist when the earthquake hit.
I'm sorry you had to go through that. Rosa, who's Golbez?
He's the new captain of the Red Wings, appointed by the king himself. But the king has been acting strangely. I believe Golbez is manipulating him to collect the crystals for himself. With Messenia's water crystal in hand, he'll surely go after the others. The fire crystal of Damsian, the wind crystal of Fabul, and the earth crystal of Troya.
Troya. Oh, we should have guessed that fucking Scarmiglione was gonna be.
Yeah.
He's the fiend of Earth. They have the Earth crystal.
Good point. The fire crystal has already fallen into his hands.
Let me introduce you. Edward is the Prince of Damsian. Rydia is a summoner from the Mists. I wouldn't have been able to get the Sand Ruby and cure your fever without their help.
Hi there. Hello, Rydia. Thank you both so much. Cecil, after Damsian, Fabul must be the next target. We must...
You have to rest now. Don't worry. We'll go to Fabul.
Sadly, the trail to Fabul is blocked by thick ice. Rydia, can you cast fire?
Oh, I forgot she has PTSD around fire. That's why she doesn't have fire.
Yes.
Oh, that's such a good touch.
It is a really good touch.
That's so good.
Fire is one of the most elementary of black magic spells. As a summoner, you...
Rosa, stop. You're in no condition to come with us.
I'll be alright, really. On my honor as a white mage, I promise I won't be a burden.
Does Rosa's and like Cecil's theme kind of sound a little bit like Someday the Dawn Will Come, or whatever it's called, the FF5 song, the one they use in Baldizian Annex? Kind of reminds me of that a little bit.
A bit. It's got similar vibes. Zape. Yeah, okay. Let me finish this cutscene first. Rosa only wishes to be with you, Cecil.
Yeah, I'm trying to like focus it in for cutscenes. All right, we'll go together. Just make sure you get plenty of rest tonight.
Thank you. Yeah. So Zape, I don't. Oh god.
That night. Yeah, I'm just like we'll get it done and then we'll continue on.
Sorry, it's about dusk whites, so you know I'm on the offensive.
Oh yeah.
Huh.
Nanir?
Sorry, I was just listening to the music. Anna, I miss you so much. Oh! Oh!
It's a
Oh,
Sahagin!
it's just a random Sahag. Yeah, okay. We should just retreat and then, like, just be in our own dimension for until morning. Oh, Edward! Anna! You must fight, Edward. I'm a ghost.
I mean, like, look, he was fighting all throughout the Antlion Cave.
Yeah. Believe in yourself.
This is a lovely touch, though.
Anna. Yeah. I like that the Sahago's wearing a cloak. It's just really wet. It's just seaweed. Oh, Murdoch! Anna, this can't be. I must leave this world for a better place. No, don't go. I can't live without you. Goodbye, you spoony bar. You mustn't let Gulbez have the crystals. Fight for your people. Care for them as you did for me.
I know it's mostly because my expectations have been so relatively low, but I really do appreciate the level of storytelling improvements that they've had so far.
It's much better. I mean, it's not necessarily like 7 levels or whatever, but it's still pretty good. Yes, I'll do it. I'll fight. But how can I stop him? I don't know what I should do.
Currently, I'm sticking with that B-.
Yeah, maybe
All set.
It might climb higher.
It might. Okay, let's catch up on people really quick. Okay, the Garland Mall, but not ruin. See, but if you just made a giant city, I feel like you have the exact same problem of having everything be the same. Like you just go you make the same problem but different. And also, like, if you just make, it's supposed to be an occupation of Alamigo, not just a conversion straight into Garlean, right? Like, it's supposed to be occupying that territory rather than just making everything Garlemald. This was huge thing because the monsters are responding to the moon shifting. It was discussed in the original past. Monsters are more aggressive. Yes. With the sheer variety of Endwalker zones now showcase the expanse of the universe like Garlemald, Abner, opposite of it makes you think exploring horizons. Yeah. The far eastern has more research here. We'll scroll down. Let's scroll down. What's this? Pavel had stuff.
Yeah. So
it's
the Pavel.
Yeah.
No, it's the message that starts with honestly though. No, so yeah, the fringes wouldn't expand the Duskwhite Elves because the Duskwhite Elves specifically lived in Galmara, which it just wouldn't. They weren't really in the fringes, and if they were, they would be under.
So
like
there is one thing that we know that's there's actually at least one group that we know that's not the case for, which is what's his face from Sorrows of Warlit. The guy who travels with Gaius. Specifically, you see a flashback of him talking about his village near the border between between Garbania and Gridania.
Okay.
And how they were attacked when Baelsar's wall came up. So there is some precedent for that.
Okay, fair dues. I guess that's fair enough. But at the same time, like, that doesn't feel like what you would look to Duskwhite. Like, if you wanted Duskwhite representation, you would look surely for, like, a Duskwhite culture, whereas that seems almost divergent from...
Yeah, well, it's interesting because he talks about the fact that they were both already isolated and, like, not a part of Gridania. And so, like, they could have had a culture of their own, but, like, it's kind of... It's the difference between talking about... the Keepers of the Moon that exists having a culture because they're not the ones that are not a part of Gridania. It's like they don't really have a culture other than poaching outside of Gridania. They just have the same culture that was from their inception, their existence since like the first Astral Era. So I would say the same thing's pretty true with the Duskwites, where it's like Gelmora, even those who live above ground, Gelmora is their ancestry and is the root of their culture.
Yeah, but it seems so they're so primordial in it.
And they have some really interesting aspects like Pomanders and stuff like that, and their runic magic as well. That I think would be.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So like, Gelmora would like any exploration of Duskwhite culture would like broader Duskwhite culture would have to be an exploration of Gelmoran culture.
Yeah, that's what I mean about the fringes not being necessarily the best place to do it. Is
Yeah.
But no,
more Duskwites.
I mean, yeah, I'd be happy to see the village. It would be interesting. But yeah. In terms of actually Duskwhite rep, I just think we get to see. I'd love to see an extant Duskwhite community in a surface level, or just below surface level Gelmar ruin.
It's interesting. You guys were talking about realistic fantasy elements to the color palette. I agree, but also Azim Steppe, Yanksha, and the Ruby Sea don't have that much in the way of like fantasy elements for the color palettes. It's all still pretty naturalistic, except for no, I'm not. I mean, like, there's not like an Ilmeg amongst them. The Azim Steppe is all green. Yanksha is all green, and like the red Dairyu Moongate is very still like man-made, but it's not that much of a fantastical element. You go to China or Japan, you see that kind of color all the time.
Yeah, nobody made that historically, but someone could have.
Right. So it's like, I agree that a fantastical element would have helped, but like, technically speaking, Othar doesn't have it. But the variety, I think, is what helps there. Boss battle, Mount Hobbs. Okay, yeah, we have to go Mount Hobbs now. Okay, cool.
Okay. Oh, could we call it for today? I'm a little tired.
Oh yeah, we can definitely. Here, let's do a little more questions, and then we can.
Yeah, let's do some more questions.
Wrap it up.
Oh yeah, we need to get ammo for Rosa. That's a good point.
I think I have some ammo. Let's see. Nope, just equipped her with a staff. Yeah, I've got holy arrows and stuff.
Like 3.
I'm gonna go ahead and equip this anyway, though. Okay. Wasn't Gearbon historically always a hard place to live? Yes. That's the problem with Stormblood, is that it followed up immediately with Shadowbringers. You really see the actual effort looks like when it comes to making memorable zones. I think I'm going to call bullshit on that. A lot of effort. It looked closely at the maps in Garabania. There was a lot of effort made in to make them memorable and to have cool shit. Things like Young Crump's Arc, things like the Ziggurat, things like there is effort. But because of the limitation, like one of them got to make a map of all of Eorzea, so they could like make them hugely spread out and be very different. One of them had a very limited subsect to work with, and within that box tried to make something. So I think the effort's there. I just think the limitations of Stormblood are like shown starkly. And I just want to defend that, like, whenever someone's like says effort, like no video game ever got made without extreme effort. None. So it's like I want to go to bat for them for that. But yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Really accrued my illness.
So
go ahead.
The Ruby Sea has underwater bubble villages, and the Eorzean Steppe has a giant coastal like a giant settlement that like float. But yeah, what we're saying is not that it shouldn't have fantastical
But those are settings,
elements,
not color.
because any map that doesn't have any fantastical element is probably going to be fairly boring. But no, we're talking about colors.
But also,
colors here.
Right, and also I'd point out that if you look at the peaks, there are tons of fantastical elements. There's a fucking ship on a mountain.
So true.
I
mean,
for Archfiend Ring doesn't have their backstories.
the like the Scalan ruins beneath Alamigo are themselves pretty fantastical.
Yeah, when you dive down deep below there, that's gorgeous. Honestly, though, even though they were wiped out in the story, I wish the Fringes explored the Duskwhite Elven race. They were wiped out in the story. What do you mean they were wiped out in the story? That was just one village. They're not completely gone.
Yeah, there's quite communities in Gelmara still, actually.
Well, and then also there are some that pop up even in the groups in Garabania.
Yeah,
like we're not like any specific quest, but there are some NPCs. Feels so empty for most of Stormblood. Yeah. This is all the character development you get, Edward. Make it stick. Man, if we ended up running around Hingashi in the next expansion, they should let us trust with Sorbonne. I'm doing Tatara's Grand Endeavor right now, and he's such a bro. He is such a fucking bro. We're definitely getting more Hingashi. We're getting fishing and Rokon, so like we've got some stuff coming up.
Yeah, we should get Sorbonne and the merchant guy. What's he called?
Hancock?
Yeah, Hancock.
Yeah. Night Hydra. It's really funny to me to forget how much better 4 story is than the first 3. Yeah. Well, 3 was such a huge improvement, and 4 is even a step up from there. Note for the future is the use of Ghost of a Disembodied Voice to get someone to join the party. Yeah. Ruby Sea literally has underwater bubble villages. Right, yeah, we're not talking about elements. Because elements, I think you can make active arguments for the fantastical nature of multiple of the maps in Garabania as well. The burned sections of that Eorzean Steppe. I don't think you see the burn. You just see the Nama AC. So like that southern desert you see isn't the burn. It's the Nama desert.
Can you see it in the distance, though?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that when you go to like the Dothral place, and if you like the desert you see south of the Dothral, so I'm assuming what you're talking about.
Yeah,
the
I think
Dothral
so.
village. That is just the Nama desert. That is not the burn. There's between that desert and the burn is a mountain range.
Oh, okay.
Like here, I can pull up. Here, let me pull up. I'll pull up my map real quick. And I promise we will wrap it up in a second here. Ray or V, if one of you are here, if you want to start doing the wrap up links, I'd appreciate it.
No, yeah, Zippy, you're right. I agree that there is, like we've been saying, that there is effort put into those maps. But I don't think that you're drawn into the effort much.
100%. I think the outcome that you get is weaker than other outcomes. But I think the effort is no... You can put all the effort in the world into something and it can do poorly. You can put no effort into something and it can do really well. Effort is a very different distinction than whether... Right. That effort is a completely different thing to me than distinguishing success. Is Shadowbringers more successful? 100%. No argument. Huge support of that. But was there more effort put into it? And to me, I feel like there's one, you can never discern effort from the end product. Like sometimes you can kind of tell, but sometimes a lot of effort can go into making a thing look easy. Okay, actually that res is not good enough. Well, here, let's just go there. But yeah, okay. So if you look, there's the Azian steppe here. Between here, there's the Nama Desert. That's the geographic section right here. And then you've got the Crescent, and then you've got this over here. But the Burn has an entire mountain range between it and the steppe. So you can't see it from far away.
Okay.
Because you got the Skade mountain range. I don't know, do we actually get... They do have a name. I'm forgetting what their name is, and it's here, but it's not high enough resolution for me to see. Stream lagging badly? Yeah, it looks like. Yeah, it should be back. I'm assuming that someone is probably Oop. There we go. I'm assuming that someone is probably trying to download something.
Okay. Well, yeah, we can.
Sometimes it dips.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna wrap up these final links. Artemis, so good to see. Glad to have you. Yeah.
Oh.
Did you just Stormblood? That's fair. Not going to say it wasn't an effort for the zone, but it's a shame so many of those landmarks are glossed over. Yeah, totally. Yeah, but it's not a colorful, fantastic element. You can totally miss the ship if you aren't paying attention. Can you?
Yeah, you can.
I mean, one, it's literally it's pointed out in the MSQ, and also it glows green. It glows green in the night sky, and also like from far away. Did you miss it?
You see it if you no, I didn't. But I noticed it in the MSQ. But if you see it in the day, it just kind of blend in a little bit. Yeah,
Okay.
at night. But I mean, it's
Night,
just
Raven.
the zones really reward exploration anyway.
Mm-hmm. There's also a giant gaping hole in the etheric goop that put a hole in the mountain peaks by the alien machine. How does that not fantastical? I mean, but again, that's an element that's in the corner, right? Although the mountain that's got the laser through it. As Breastplate, that's fair. I just think it would have been a nice addition to touch on the topic that's been relatively untouched since AR, even if it's not true to the culture of Duskwights. I mean, like, having some amount of touching on it would be nice, sure. But I guess how do you weave that in? Like, because there's like, what is there to necessarily be said? Like, there's a Duskwight village here. I mean, I guess that makes, like, I guess you could have done something like that in the same way that they did something like with the M tribe. But like, Duskwight aren't a major element of Garabanian society in general. The thing is that they were ostracized by Garabani and Alamigo, and ostracized themselves, the same way that they did from Gridania. So they weren't really part and parcel to the goings-on. Whereas, like, the M-Tribe have a direct relationship with the Alamigans to an extent. But I don't know. Maybe there would have been something to be done there. Yeah.
I think you could weave a narrative there. You could do something about how different cultures have always come to Garabania to integrate and to bring their own traditions.
Yeah, but also Duskwights as a zone is very different to having a Duskwight village within a zone. Like,
yeah.
I like if the M tribe had been a zone, that would have been bad. Like, making any singular zone hyper specifically about one group that has priorly existed and is also a specific clan. Like, you can point out, oh, but they did that with the Zayla. It's like, right, but like the Elrond needed a very specific setup in a way that they had none around the world up until that point, and the Rain and Suino Sato were a very limited set of group, very like restricted.
Yeah.
Like you need Bawzia for Hrothgar because there's no Hrothgar stuff. For Viera, you get Runk and stuff, but you also get Bawzian stuff, and you also get Dalmascan stuff.
So
let's go to
Zepavilla's has said maybe we could visit Galmara as a zone. I don't think we could ever do that, but I do think we could have a Criterion dungeon there.
We would definitely get a we haven't actually been to Gelmora proper. Like Isamhar is not Gelmora. The Gelmoran ruins are in the like northern.
Yeah, we've not been to the
so we
heart.
Definitely could get
we've been to Gelmora proper, I would say, but not to the heartland of the Gelmoran civilization.
Yeah. The Ziggurat is cool, especially with all those little weird platform roads around it. Shame they don't really get a chance to shine in the MSQ. Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of places in that you like. There's a ton of places in Ilmeg that don't get to shine. There's a ton of places in, like I like that a lot of the elements and maps are there for you to choose to go experience. That said, I agree that I think a lot of them get hidden away in weird ways. Like a lot of the temples and stuff that are around the fringes and peaks just kind of never get found. Yeah. Until they pointed out that ship, I missed it. Yeah. Okay. Well, Levi. No, I mean that's good for me to know because I had seen that as like a blazing image in the sky, but
I think that does
clearly
depend on what time you see it though. Like if you're playing it, like if you just so happen to mostly be in the zone in the day.
Yeah. I must have seen it at night. That would explain a lot. Good way to translate thoughts. Yeah, totally, Zevaville. I'm sometimes a little specific about language, and also I'm defensive of people who like clearly working hard something, whether or not it's successful. People disregarding it just because it didn't turn out well, or turn out perfect is or turn out great even. So between Nama and the Burn, for some reason, reminded me of the Magna and you stole a cutscene. Since this YouTuber was actually obligated to like, share, and subscribe, if those guys who are left could just quickly click the like button, it goes a long way towards supporting us. Beyond that, don't forget that we stream every Monday and Tuesday. We go through the MSQ. Wednesdays, new videos come out. We just put out a new video. It is the Abyssos recap. So if you have not played Abyssos in a while, the new set level for Pandemonium is going to be coming out in a couple weeks here. So I definitely recommend watching that video. Thursday, we do this thing. We're continuing on with our FF4 journey. Fridays, we're going to be doing our music stream, so that's going to be up tomorrow. And then on Saturdays, we have our community stream. We're going to be doing tomestones, so definitely come hang with us, and we'll be doing a lot of content. If you want to join any of that stuff, you can always go not only find us on YouTube, but you can come join our Discord at discord.gg/user-archives. We have all sorts of fun stuff that you should check out on the channel in general. If you want to watch some old content, it'd be lovely.
Heck yeah, do it.
I totally agree. I don't think the zone would have worked for that in Stormblood, but a village, as you said, would be neato. Yeah, totally. And look, I have this problem where I constantly come up against a lot of people. No, let me have this phrase. I understand wanting more of a thing, but it seems sometimes like when a thing's underserved, sometimes people will come to me with the answer is to give you like an entire map of X. And I'm like, but you want variety, Like,
I understand
even as someone
both
who wants to know more about shit.
though, right? I
Yeah.
understand both sides.
Oh, I understand
of
the impulse. Yeah. It's just like... Yeah.
And we know how Duskwite
There's
players be.
You can't stop stoking their fury, Naniri. You know how the Duskwite fucking role players comment on all the videos.
I like to poke the bear.
Oh, God. Wouldn't Gelmora all be underground? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
is.
it would. But you can see the entryway to it in the northern part of the Shroud.
Yeah, and Encyclopedia Eorzean confirms that is the... So Gelmora is really all one city, but they sort of imply that area is closest to a capital that they had.
Yeah. Crimson Lock, yeah. Better done with a settlement or a dungeon. Honestly, Criterion Dungeon would be, in my opinion, the best way to do it.
Yeah, we could do, honestly, all the old civilizations in Eorzea deserve Criterion Dungeons. Gelmora,
Do
definitely.
Yeah.
The
Do Ogomoro.
Yeah.
For like the northern half of Vilbrand for the fucking
You could do a
Lenosia,
Nim
and
one.
Yeah. I mean, there's already so many Nimian dungeons.
There's
But
one!
the Nimian ruins. There's hard mode too, but yeah, you're right.
There's a
And
lot
also
of
they have
Gelmora
Scholar.
stuff. The
They also
problem
have
is
Scholar quest.
that almost all of the Gelmoran content isn't about Gelmora. Like, Tamtara is
Yes.
about the Glams and then Edda.
Totorek actually isn't Gilmora, despite what a lot of people think.
Yeah.
Obviously, What's It is about Edda. House
of the Dead
is about Edda again. And
Yeah, it's
there's
about-
very little. And yeah, so unfortunately, a lot of it just isn't about Gilmora, despite being in Gilmora.
Did that centipede just suicide itself?
Oh, you ended the stream, but for me,
Sorry. Okay. But yeah, I think Criterion dungeons are the best way to explore that a lot of times now. I mean,
Yes.
like, look, to defend your point even further, just put a interesting quest, side quest chain that touches on that too. I
Yeah.
think could be a really good way to broaden it.
Yeah, you can do both,
But yeah,
right?
Naniri, my friend, have any final things? I've been keeping you up long enough.
Please feel free to let us know in any comments on any video or in the Discord any ideas that you have for content and stuff.
Yeah, we would definitely love to do more like lore talks and things for any things
Yes.
that you guys specifically want. Big problem, like I've said lately, has just been running out of time to get shit done. But yeah, Gilmora Zone. I mostly mean the zone that explores the underground city areas of Redania. Yeah, I feel like that would just be better at a Criterion dungeon at this point, but like because Criterion's such a good setup for that. Multiple routes going underground. I mean, it's basically what we did in Silly Subterrane.
Yeah, I worry that people are going to hate the labyrinthine nature of it and the fact that you really couldn't fly and stuff.
Yeah.
You could execute.
Honestly,
You
a
could
whole
do it.
underground-
You could do it.
Would it though? A whole underground city would be such a good idea. Would it? Because I feel like underground. Maybe we're using zone differently. I'm talking about using a whole map, and I think that's that would suck for flight. It would suck for. Okay, an entire city as a zone I think is just a bad thing. Like having a half of the zone, like with Alamigo or Garlemald, down for. But entire zone is just boring. It's just very uniform. It's just one thing. I mean, like hell, even Tempest, right? Emerald doesn't do that. If the entire thing was just Emerald, it would just be kind of boring. But all of it being underground in like a cavern that's big enough for you to fly around in
Yes.
could be something.
But that's not the impression we get, really.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I would not at all. I mean, we see big caverns in like Tamtara, so there are these
Yeah.
big caverns, and you could have a really big one, but it's probably not zone big.
Yeah. Naniri loves poking at the spider web. It's not a hornet's nest because there aren't that many. Scarlet, good to see you. Glad to have you. I've yet to at least meet one Duskwhite player in game proper, and I was looking for them specifically. They are few and far between, but they are passionate with a fury.
Yeah, vocal.
Duskwhite, not just role players, but Duskwhite, they are people who know what they like and will ardently stand for it and want more of it.
The makeup stuff.
I need to start memorizing that fucking Duskwhite dude's name that Gaius hangs around with, because remember Severa, but his name is just such a weird name. Power, welcome back. We're actually wrapping up, but welcome back. A Criterion could work really well, to be honest. Like, my thing is that the format of a Criterion dungeon fundamentally supports, on a very fundamental level, what would be a really good exploration of what Gilmora is based on its explanation, because it's supposed to be tunnels and labyrinthine network, not large spaces or cavernous spaces underground, which is like, I mean, look at Sildy Subterrane. It works really well for that.
Yeah,
I take a Criterion dungeon over an exploratory zone. Yeah.
I would say that actually Gilmora, if you're gonna make like a demo slide for Criterion dungeons, it would be Gilmora. Gilmora is the Criterion dungeon.
Yeah, I think most people are just use zone generally, not technical sense. Okay, yeah, sorry, I'm used to using it like a zone
me
from a
too.
technical standpoint. In 14 tends to be used in reference to a specific, one of the 6 maps, or something like even maybe specifically Bosnia, rather than anything that's instanced. So that was what was throwing me off in terms of understanding. Like, I wouldn't call a dungeon a zone. Right.
Oh, it's a duty.
Yeah.
Or yeah, I think most people probably use instance or dungeon, but yeah.
It is Mount Hobbs time. That is correct, Power. However, we are going to be wrapping up. Now we're actually going to be wrapping up. It is probably like 5 a.m. or something for you, Naniri, my friend. Let's let you get to bed.
Okay.
If anyone has any final questions, you can always at me over on the Discord. I would love to answer any questions you have about the lore. You can also I'm sure Naniri would love to help out too. With all that said, I've been Elio Forceron,
And I've been Neri.
and we will see you guys very, very soon. Lovely hanging out with you. Love your questions.
Toodles.
Yeah, basically infinite. Basically, that's just Emeritine housing at that point.